You know, one of the nice things about life in New York City is you get to spend a lot of time riding in cabs. This can be a grueling experience, or it can be a treat and a privilege, if you know how to do it properly. I'd like to now share with you some tips that we have put together on riding in a cab.
Help! Just like clockwork, huh? Well, first thing you need to know about a cab is posted right here. I'll be with you in a minute. Posted right here on the door, the rates. $1 for the first 1/9 of a mile, and then 10 cents for each additional 1/9 of a mile. So it's important to bring along plenty of dime.
Now it's time to meet the man who's going to be your host for the ride. Hello, Randolph. How did I know his name was Randolph? Well, every New York City cab driver is considerate enough to place a photo of himself and his name right on the dashboard. When was that picture taken, Randolph?
Last year.
You're feeling better now, though, aren't you? As a passenger, you should be just as considerate. Place a photo of yourself and your name right alongside the picture of the driver. Now what you need to do, establish some kind of a rapport with your driver. Every New York City cab driver loves a good joke. You know, Randolph, you don't mind if I pay you in foreign currency, do you? Actually, I'm just teasing. I'm virtually penniless. Well, that kind of broke the ice. Now let's check out the equipment. Attention, Kmart shoppers. Everything on aisle 6 is now 20% off. All items on aisle 6, 20% off. Seems to be working just fine. Okay. Every New York City cab driver surely loves hijinks. Here's a dime for the first 1/10 of a mile, and we're on our way. The way I look at it, the cab is actually your home away from home. After all, you're paying for it, so why not make yourself at home? So whenever I travel by cab, I bring along a few items to make it a little more comfortable for myself. These are great. I like to put these in the back window here. It gives me the feeling that I'm still in my living room. Plus, I've also found that cab drivers actually prefer these things to tips. So they'll enjoy that also. Boy, look at all this window space. The cab cries for curtains, doesn't it? I bring along my own curtains, and with just a little effort, you can stick them right up there over that window. Now, here's where the fun begins. You know, driving a cab is long, hard work, and every cab driver enjoys a little surprise after a hard day behind the wheel. So, puppet show.
Hey, mister, can you take me to Queens?
I love it, too. So, we're all settled in. Good time to sit back, do a little exploration, find out what maybe other passengers have left behind. Always check under the floor mats. Oh, we're in luck today. It's a lovely tie, to be worn by a Shriner, and of course a wallet. I'll just bet that it's empty. And one of these deals. Oh, this is nice. Have what appears to be some rare roast beef and some cheese. I'm not sure which is which. This, I guess, is potato salad. That brings up another interesting point about New York City cabs. They're great places for a perfect romantic dinner. Use the jump seat here as a table. Most cabs come with two. And not a bad idea to bring along a tablecloth like that. And don't forget the ashtrays and the change container. In this ashtray, I've placed an assortment of party nuts, and here we have some mints. This ashtray is full of imported caviar. I put it in there a few moments ago. So now you're all set to sit back and enjoy a fine bottle of wine. For my money, you can't beat a fine imported wine along with the aroma of exhaust fumes. Okay, driver, let's go. Just a second. Before we take off, a word about music. Romantic music would be perfect, but unfortunately, most cab drivers don't like you listening to their radio. That's fine with me because, frankly, I prefer live music. You all set, Uncle Pete?
How far are we going today, Mr. Letterman?
We're only going to Queens.
All right.
Okay.
Kind of a puzzling notion. What is the date today, Paul? Have any idea?
Hey, I forgot my watch today.
Anybody know what the date is? Hiram? 21st of April. We got a great show for you folks, and of course you'll meet Paul and the rest of the men in the band a little bit later. Walk this way, if you will, please, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned, we have a man who is a father, a Catholic priest, and he's also a song and dance man. His name is Tom Smith. We have sports producer and historian Bud Greenspan. You shouldn't be drinking that. Okay. Who else is on the show? A good friend of mine, comedian Tom Dreesen, and dating do's and don'ts with our good old friends Frank and Fred. But you know, when you live or work in New York City, there is one thing you can be sure of. You're going to have to spend a lot of time riding elevators. And with any form of transportation, your ride will be a lot more pleasant. Your ride will be a lot more pleasant if you learn the rules of elevator etiquette. For example, when you first get on board the elevator, it's perfectly acceptable to introduce yourself to the other passengers, give your name and your floor. Hi, I'm David Letterman, 14th floor.
Marie O'Donnell, 7th floor.
Oh, 7th floor. That's the commissary floor, and I guess it's very nice there this time of day, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
14th floor is nice, too. Hi, Tom Gammill, 2nd floor.
Tom Gammill, 2nd floor. What a wimp. Couldn't walk up a flight of stairs? Well, what you have here is an example of an elevator faux pas. Never deride a fellow passenger because of his or her floor selection. Now, if no one else has already done so, feel free to appoint yourself as elevator captain. You don't mind if I assume the captain responsibilities for this car, do you? First of all, check the equipment. Push every button on the car. The next important thing to do, and again, it's your responsibility, check the safety alarm. There you go. Now then, every elevator car comes equipped with a standard electrical outlet. Why is it there, you're asking yourself? Well, it's for your personal use. Take advantage of it. Dry your hair?
Yes, thank you.
Looks lovely. How about you?
No, I'm heat sensitive. Thanks.
He's heat sensitive. A trip in a high-rise building can also be a very lengthy journey, so why not take along some snacks? But again, be considerate. Be sure to take along enough for everyone. You folks care for some hard-boiled eggs? This is where the elevator really comes in practical use. Care for some hard-boiled eggs?
That'd be great, thanks.
This is where the elevator really comes in for some practical use. Care for some hard-boiled? Why, there you go. Sure, you bet. Can I get you another one? Now, remember that every elevator has a posted weight capacity, posted right here. As elevator captain, it's your responsibility to make sure that the weight total in the car does not exceed this limit. Excuse me, sir. May I have your weight, please?
240 pounds.
240, all right. And the posted weight limit here is 1,500 pounds. Oh, I'm sorry, Tubby, you're going to have to get another car. It's for their own benefit, and they'll thank you for it.
Thank you.
Certainly. Now, of course, the topic of elevator music. Is it proper to ask someone to dance? You bet. But be considerate. Always take into account their floor destination. Care to dance?
Oh, I guess so, but only until the 6th floor.
Fine. Be delighted to. The elevator is a wonderful way to make new friends, and isn't that what traveling is all about?
Don't mind me, I'll just dance by myself.
Sure, good idea. We're going to load up on plenty of those hard-boiled eggs. We'll be right back with the rest of the show after you take a look at this. Let's just keep that now before it's closing. You know, now that the weather is pleasant, the street vendors are out in abundance right here in New York City. And whether you're a tourist or a permanent resident, you will eventually want to buy a hot dog from one of these guys. And as with all things, your experience will be more pleasurable if you know the proper rules of etiquette. Walk this way, won't you? First, of course, what you want to do is select the hot dog vendor of your choice. And once you do that, it's customary to make a reservation. You do this simply by calling ahead. Hey, dinner for one, Letterman. Now, this way, when you arrive, you'll be welcome. And when you do arrive, simply indicate that you have phoned ahead. Excuse me, my name's Letterman. I just called in for a reservation for dinner.
Yeah, we're going to medal.
Medal? Sure, like a medal. Well, it's amazing how many people forget to pick up their free medal, and if you survive the hot dog, believe me, you're entitled to a medal.
Give me a dog with everything and a Coke.
Sure, just what you need, a lot of fat, greasy food. See, this is an example of a street food faux pas. Never deride a fellow customer based on his selection. It's impolite, plus, as you know, most of the people on the streets of New York City are carrying guns. Now, it's time to select your entree. Here, your vendor will be happy to help you make that selection. Excuse me, sir, what would you recommend for today?
A hot dog.
Sounds kind of crazy, but it just might work. I'll have a hot dog. Here's where it gets exciting. You get to select your own hot dog from the living hot dog tank. No, that's got some age on it. No, that one's a little green. That one's a little, I don't know, young looking. Let me try another one. Oh, that's a beauty. There's good eating, huh? That's great. Now, the next step, condiment selection. This is very important. I'd like the mustard, relish, and kraut. A little mustard. And, you know, I changed my mind. I think I would just like kraut, if that's not a problem. Beautiful. Also, I'd like a side order of peas.
No peas.
No peas?
No peas.
Well, you know, a balanced meal is very important, and your best vendors encourage you to bring along a vegetable. Is it okay if I just drop these peas in the tank there and heat them up? There you go. Be ready in no time. Here's an extra special little tip. Most of these places say, food to take out. They say that. But if it's a special occasion, all you have to do, slip the maitre d' here, a 20, and he'll let you stand right under the umbrella with him. There you go. If you don't mind, I'll be dining with you tonight. Thank you very much. You know, nothing enhances the experience of eating out on the streets of New York like, boy, the smell of bus fumes. Sometimes the fun is in overdoing it, isn't it? Booking guests on this show is a difficult and time-consuming task. Sooner or later, just about everyone will be called upon to be a talk show guest. In the event that you do become a guest on this show, your interview will be a lot more pleasant if you take the time to learn the accepted rules of talk show etiquette. Rule number 1, no beach attire. Quite simply, the rule is no shirt, no shoes, no interview. It's a thrill to introduce my next guest, a world-famous expert on political science from Columbia University.
You know, Dave, I don't know how you feel about this, but one thing that the neo-colonialists fail to realize is that an oligarchy cannot survive in a strictly monolithic society.
Gosh, I'd love to talk some more about this fascinating topic, but we're out of time. Thank you so much for dropping by. That was rule number 2. Don't use words the host does not know.
Hello, Dave.
Rule number 3.
That's what he said. Hello, Dave. I'm happy to be here tonight. The name of my book is, you're supposed to break in on that one.
Rule number 3, know who and where your host is. Every guest receives a photo of the host and a map of where to find him. If you get lost, use them. Rule number 4, take off your Walkman. If you're booked as a guest, at least pretend to be interested. Now, when you walk onto the set, the host will shake your hand, and at this time it's customary to take advantage of this opportunity and slip the host a little something. That way I'll be sure to ask you better and nicer questions. Rule number 5.
We won't be any trouble. We'll just watch quietly.
Gosh, we won't be any trouble. We'll just watch quietly, that's all.
Don't bring your parents. Now then, I wonder if you could tell us about your new book.
Now then, tell us about your book.
That's good.
That's good.
Rule number 6.
Rule number 6.
It's not funny or cute to repeat everything the host says. Now stop that.
It's not funny or cute to repeat everything the host says. Now stop that.
Excuse me. Hello? It's for you.
Oh, hi, Muriel. Nothing much. Is he there now? Put the phone by his ear so he can hear me.
Rule number 7.
Hello, Winky. Hello, little kitty cat. How's a little kitty?
The phone is there for my personal use only. No personal calls during the show. Gee, it was great fun having you on the show. Thanks for being here. Sorry you can't stay any longer tonight. My next guest...
Wait a minute. I'm not going anywhere. You can't make me. I have amusing anecdotes to tell.
Rule number 8. When your interview is over, go quietly. Thank you very much and good night.
Why, I ought to twist your face off. I'm not going anywhere. I turned down Good Morning America to do your show. If I do well tonight, Carson was going to have me on. I won't go. You can't make me. What?
Rule number 9. If you're booked as a guest, try not to die on the show. Generally speaking, a dead guest is a dull guest. It puts a damper on the proceedings, and there might be a comedian following you. Well, there you have it. Practice these rules at home with your friends so you'll be ready when we call you. And believe me, we'll call you. We'll be right back with the Smothers Brothers. We have a fine show for America tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Author and convicted felon. This is not an... Wait a minute. I just realized this is not an introduction we use very often. Author and convicted felon G. Gordon Liddy will be joining us tonight. Also, we have... Yes, sure, you can applaud. We have a woman who is an actress, and I believe she's done some time also. I think it was Bad Checks, but we'll find out specifically when she gets out here. The star of NBC's hit television program called, what's the name of the show?
Love Sydney.
Of course, it's Love Sydney. Love Sydney. And she'll be out here, perhaps not now. Also, we're going to take a look at new international symbols and perhaps, just maybe, installment... Wait a minute, you put it down too soon. And perhaps installment number 5 of... Installment number 5 of What Happened to the Cue Card Guy. All of that coming up here tonight on this extravaganza. And, oh, did you say hello to Paul Schaefer? This is, of course, Mr. Paul Schaefer.
David Letterman, I love you. Yeah.
That's Paul Schaefer. He's from Thunder Bay originally. You know, whether you're a resident of New York City or just a tourist, sooner or later you are going to be faced with a ride on a New York subway. Yep. As with all things, your ride will be more pleasant if you learn and obey the rules of common subway etiquette. Let's go on over here and wait for the subway train. I think I hear one coming. Oh, yes, there it is. Great, come on in. Before you go actually into the car, there's a couple of safety pointers. Take some precautions before actually getting on the thing. Don't carry any bags marked like this one right here. If you have to carry valuables with you, simply disguise them by putting them in a bag that says, well, for example, items of no particular importance to anyone but myself. Believe me, this will do the trick. Now then, next step, you pass through the metal detector. And unlike the metal detectors they have at the airport, this one sounds a warning if you do not have enough metal on you, indicating that you are insufficiently armed for subway travel. Thank you very much. Now we're all set to go on board, and as soon as we get inside here, as soon as you get inside, every subway car is marked with the exits in case of an emergency. Let's take a look at this diagram. Of course, exit A here, we see door never closes. That's right. Exit B, sometimes open. Exit C, a window never opens, of course. A door never opens over here. This window is jammed, and of course, the bums sleep back there. Now, the next step, once you get inside, it's customary to introduce yourself to everyone on the car by announcing your name and destination. I'll do that now. Hello there. Hi, I'm David Letterman. I'm going to 30 Rockefeller Plaza.
Eddie Small, Washington Square.
Eddie Small, Washington Square? What are you, a drug dealer? See what I've done there? That's an example of a subway faux pas. A big subway faux pas. This is about the biggest faux pas you can deal with on the subway. Rule number one, no matter what anyone says to you on the subway, don't forget to thank them. Geez, gosh, Eddie, it was great meeting you. Thank you very much. Good luck to you in that business down there, sir. Nice seeing you. Now, as with all forms of travel, this can be critical. So don't be afraid to be fussy when it comes to choosing the proper seat. Review each seat individually. Is it pleasing to the eye? Would you like to be near the aisle or over here by the window? And a happy traveler knows what he wants and refuses to settle for second best. I'm going to take this seat right here. It's a window seat. It looks comfortable. I'll be enjoying my ride a little more for being... This brings us to rule number two. Depending on the circumstances, sometimes second best is just fine. Excuse me. I'll go back there where there are fewer farm implements, if you don't mind. Now, here's something that's a lot of fun to do when you get onto a subway car. Put together your own little chemistry set, like I've done here. Of course, you have your Petri dishes and some chemical reagents, and these are the collection vials right here. Now, what this will do, this will be enable you to identify peculiar things that you find all around you on the subway. For example, I don't know if you can see this smudge right over here. Let's just take a sample of that, see what we can come up with. Yeah, well, what we have here, this is, of course, some saliva. Looks like a little human hair, some Beeman's gum, and pickle relish. Gosh, the fun never stops when you're riding on the subway. Now, in the event that a bum passes out on you, what is the polite thing to do? Well, what I like to do, take this opportunity to help him freshen up. He'll thank you for it, and thank you, and so will the rest of the car. There you go. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is spend some time hanging on to one of these straps right here, like the rest of the real New York subway riders. It also gives you an opportunity to be close to some really interesting people.
What are you looking at, pal? Who, me? I'm not looking at anything. No, not you. I was talking to him. Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Now, in the event that you run into somebody who is talking to himself, what is the proper etiquette?
I'll tell you what causes smog, pal. It's UFO exhaust. That's right. You heard me the first time. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. UFO exhaust?
All you have to do is listen politely, occasionally offering small rejoinders such as, sure. Very interesting, I understand.
What do you know about UFOs? Oh, well, it just so happens I know a lot.
Then what you need to do, offering one of these specially designed microwave protector helmets. This will not only help fend off the dangerous Russian satellite mind control lasers that are being beamed at him day after day, but will also muffle his conversation so you can enjoy the ride in peace. Then what you want to do is refer him to one of our talent coordinators so we can book him on an upcoming show. Excuse me, sir, if you could stop by RCA about noon tomorrow, we'd like to have you on the show. Maybe do a full hour with you. That'll be just fine. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know and to enjoy your ride. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Welcome to the show. My name is David Letterman. Before we really take off here tonight, just let me pause for a moment to thank everybody who was involved yesterday in making Haircut Night such an overwhelming, unbelievable success. It was just the kind of thing where you're happy to be an American, and that was last night. Now, I have a man down here, ladies and gentlemen. Should we get a medic? Just there he goes. Paul Schaefer sneaking out, and you know it's going to be a good show when the band leader leaves early. It's just you know, I'm still reeling from that powerful segment on 60 Minutes Sunday. How many of you saw it? It was just unbelievable concerning the television program Bewitched. Of course, the argument rages on and on. Dick York, Dick Sargent, who was the better Darren? Apparently, they're just... We'll see Paul later, won't we? Paul is returning, isn't he? We have a wonderful show for you folks tonight. Sex therapist Dr. Ruth Westheimer is in the... And she's here because she's dating my next guest, Mr. Will Schreiner, an old friend of mine. They're kind of a couple now. And this is interesting. If you thought this television program was on at an interesting hour of the broadcast day, my next guests are pioneering network television time. They're going to be hosting a program immediately following this extravaganza. Beginning July 5th. Just start watching in July and beginning July 5th. The anchors of NBC News' new overnight program, Linda Ellerby and Lloyd Dobbins, will be here. And another late night tour of New York City, ladies and gentlemen. You have shown up on a good night. Now, if you watch this program with any degree of regularity, you know that we have made an earnest attempt to help our audiences improve their etiquette in everyday situations. Recently, it has come to my attention that a lot of our viewers do not know how to behave properly at a laundromat. Well, subsequently, we have been subsequently those people have been letting their hygiene go to hell. So with that in mind, we thought we would tackle the sensitive topic of laundromat etiquette. Walk this way to the laundromat, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's just pick up our laundry. How do you do? The bag of laundry, the laundromat. Let's go on inside, shall we? Well, look who's here. You know, of course, that a laundromat is a public place, and when you walk in, it is customary to introduce yourself by name and, of course, by your stubborn wash day problem. How do you do? I'm David Letterman. tar and blood.
Hi, Paul Schaefer, Sherry.
Sherry, are you kidding me? Sherry, you can hardly see that stain. Now get out of here. These machines are for people with real laundry problems. Go on, get a bus. Beat it, will you, pal? Crawl back across to the band. See, this is an example of a laundromat faux pas. Do not ridicule other laundromat patrons about the nature of their laundry problems. Now, next you are faced with the difficult task of selecting the right machine for your needs. This one's full of minnows. This brings us to rule number 2. If you're going to be doing your laundry, take off your clothing first. See what we have down here. Oh, next you'll find that every laundromat has at least one machine which is partially full of water and refuses to drain. I have one right here. Now, what do? Well, do what I do. Bring along some frozen vegetables. Now we'd have to open those, but frozen vegetables, maybe some potatoes, and get yourself a nice cut of brisket. This is, of course, prison quality meat. Oh, my. Oh, boy. You don't know what fun it is standing next to a dryer full of meat. So anyway, now you have yourself a fine New England boiled dinner. Here, turn this to hot for about 20 minutes and food for the entire laundromat. Now the dinner's taken care of, here's something fun to do. Try to guess what a person is like by looking at his or her laundry. All right? There you go. Kind of a big guy, but I'm guessing he's also pretty much of a wimp. Let's see, now this is interesting. We have some sheets here. Oh, look, apparently this guy is some sort of an inmate. And let's see, we have, oh, now here is a real, would you look at that? Good heavens. This your stuff? Oh, I'm awfully sorry. We have some lovely things here. This brings us to rule number 3. Leave other people's laundry alone. Okay, now, the biggest problem in a laundromat, of course, is fighting boredom, so try to be creative. Here's what I do. Step over to the dryers and clean out as much of the dryer lint as you can, and then see what little things you can make for yourself and the kids. Like here earlier today, I made this cute little lint man, isn't he? What a lot of fun he'd be for the kids. Now, here's something else you might want to do. Take along an ordinary water pistol, which I have right here. Fill it full of ink and just maybe randomly shoot a hole.
Hey, pal, you just ruined a 45 designer shirt.
You mean that shirt's also a 45? So is this.
I don't care, it's one of a kind.
I know. This is, you mean... You mean I've ruined a $45 designer shirt?
You sure have. But I don't care, it's one of a kind. Say, don't you know who I am? I'm Larry Bud Melman, president of Melman Productions. You know, I can bury you.
Okay, all right, settle down. Here, do me a favor. Just settle down. Just take a look at that. Will you just look right in there? Now, here's another way to pass the time. Make up one of these little cards, put it in the dryer. It's not only good, clean entertainment, but there's fringe benefits as well. Having a good time?
Yes, master.
Why don't you run down and get me a big sloppy pizza and an 8-pack?
Yes, master.
Okay, you got plenty of money on you?
Yes, master.
Okay, good. And when you can get back here, you just finish up my laundry for me, if you will. Do you mind?
Yes, master.
Okay.
Anything you say,
all right.
master.
Hit the road. Gosh, this is fun, but we have to pause. We'll be right back with Dr. Ruth Westheimer. Oh, we're going to have plenty of fun tonight. You know, since it's the summertime, I don't want to depress anybody, but sooner or later, someday, viewers of this program are going to have to set their alarms, get out of the old apartment, and find a job. I know I'm going to have to do that. Now, the most important factor in finding a job is, of course, the big job interview. So we thought as a public service, we'd offer a few time-proven hints to help make your next job interview a big success.
She really is terrific. I worked with her for 4 years, and she never missed a single day.
This brings us to rule number 1.
I've known this girl since junior high, and with the exception of April 1977, she's the most dependable, hardworking girl I know.
Almost every large corporation now owns their own telephone. Hence, there is no need to bring your references with you. Thank you, gentlemen. Now then, why did you leave your last job?
The earliest Arab civilization emerged at the end of the second millennium in the watered highlands of Yemen.
Rule number 2, listen carefully to the questions and answer only the question you were asked. Thank you. We'll give you a call.
Did I say the second millennium? I meant the third millennium.
Fine. Thank you very much. Rule number 3. Rule number 3. This brings us to rule number 3. Try to be on time. Now, let's see here. Your resume is very impressive. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your last job, if you will?
Well, I worked for my father's company last summer making deliveries. Actually, if you were to call him, he'd probably say something about I stole something from the factory one night. But it's really not. The thing happened was my cousin and I were there late one night, and I don't know what we were doing there.
All right. Rule number 4. Now, you're going to get the job on your own merits. Special effects will not help. Thank you very much. Now it's time for rule number 5.
Look, an unexploded grenade.
Unexploded grenade? It's a good idea to start your interview by saving the interviewer's life.
I'll get it.
It breaks the ice and makes anyone more sympathetic. You start on Monday, get yourself a new shirt. Exploded grenade there. Exploded grenade. Maybe a live grenade, who knows? Rule number 6. Oh, excuse me. Rule number 6.
What an ugly family. Is that your family? Is that your wife? She must be very rich.
Don't insult the interviewer's family. Thank you. We'll keep your resume on file, and if there are any openings, we'll certainly let you know.
Don't give me that. You can't brush me off that easy.
Rule number 7, don't touch the interviewer. Especially if you're this guy.
I'm sorry that I touched you, but you have to understand. To fill your new position, you'll never find a better man.
And finally, rule number 8, break into song only as a last resort.
I used to work in Michigan at an automotive plant. I thought I could live on the salary, but now I find I can't.
But never under any circumstances dance.
I'll really make you and if you don't, I'll just stay here and dance and dance and dance and dance.
We're going to pause. We'll be right back after this commercial message.
Whoa, 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 I really feel like
Well, summer is here, and I know a big part of summer for many of you is the time that you spend at the beach. But as with all things, your beach pleasure will be enhanced considerably if you simply take the time to familiarize yourself with the proper rules of beach etiquette. And I believe there's a beach pretty close to us. Paul, by the way, where is the beach?
Back there. Right
The
back
beach is
there.
back here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go on back to the beach. My, oh my, it really is a beach. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm sort of starting to unwind already. Now, when you first get to the beach, the first thing you want to do, of course, is introduce yourself to everybody else who's enjoying themselves on the sand, and the best way to do that is by name and also sunscreen number. Hi, I'm Dave Letterman, number 1. It's a light sunscreen.
Oh, hi, Paul Schaefer, extra heavy sunscreen. Nice to meet you.
Extra heavy? Why even come to the beach? Why don't you just stay at home and read comic books in the basement? Now, this is an example of a beach faux pas. Do not deride fellow sun worshippers just because they appear to be wimps.
Dave, listen, you can hear the ocean in here. Listen to this.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Paul. That's very nice. Now, when you're visiting the beach, it's perfectly acceptable to enjoy the sounds of the surf. But always be considerate of others. Thank you, Hiram. Always be considerate of others.
Mr. Letterman, can I go back in the water yet?
Go back into the water yet? Well, let's see, young man. You have to wait a full 30 minutes after you eat. And checking our equivalency tables, let's see. 30 minutes is exactly how long it takes one coat of latex house paint to dry. Now, that's why some plasterboard and a professional painter are an important part of any fun-filled day at the beach. Yes, when the paint is dry, the kids can swim.
Is it dry?
No.
Is it dry?
Okay, now it's dry.
Yeah. Yippee!
Boy, did you see the glee on the little fella's face? Another thing that's fun...
What is this, some kind of a silly little skit?
That's right, we're doing a little skit about the beach.
So can you tell me where the corporate communications offices are?
Yeah, it's 6th floor, but it's the west side of the building. So what you want to do is just go right straight through there. Now, when you get to an audience, turn left and go through the double doors. It's over there. Okay. Now, did you see the glee on the little fella's face? Another thing that's fun to do at the beach is bury someone in the sand. And of course...
You got ridges? I like regular chips.
You always eat the chips with the ridges.
I never eat the chips with ridges.
Of course, when you're burying someone in the sand, there's a right way and a wrong way to do so. First of all, let's take a look at the right way. This would be there. All right, now let's take a look at what is generally considered to be the wrong way to bury someone. There you go. Now we come to a very common beach day problem.
Larry, what do you want? Tuna on white or tuna on wheat?
Tuna on wheat.
What did you say, white?
I said wheat.
What do you do if loud, obnoxious people sit next to you?
You said wheat? Since when do you eat tuna on wheat?
I always eat tuna on wheat.
I only have white.
White wheat, what do I care?
Excuse me, did you folks hear what time the poisonous radioactive chemical spill is due in today?
I told you we should have gone to the mall.
Rule number 4. In the event of obnoxious people, it's okay to threaten their lives.
Excuse me, Dave. I've been watching you, and I've got to get a word in here. It's just that the advice that you're giving does not spell Surf City to me. You know, I want to say any Chuck Woolery can be a Frankie Avalon. If he just pays attention to this one simple rule that you forgot. Don't wear a sport jacket and dress shoes on the beach. Girls don't think it's hip, and they'll just make fun of you.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Paul.
Just trying
appreciate
to
that.
help. Dave, let's take a walk on the beach.
Okay. Paul and I are going for a walk. We'll be right back with a look at Coney Island. Plenty of other stuff. You know, every day, hundreds of people from all over this great land of ours come to NBC to sit in our studio audience and help us put together this extravaganza. It occurred to us recently that most of these people, although they mean well, have never been inside a television studio before and are not fully aware of the proper rules of behavior. So we thought tonight we would take this opportunity to give everyone a friendly pointer or two. First of all, as a member of the studio audience, you are a guest. And because you are a guest, it's considered bad taste to watch another show while we are doing this one. I'll just take care of that for you. Thank you very much. Put that thing over there. Thank you very much. Rule number one, when you're in our audience, try to watch our show. Now, one of the most important jobs you have as an audience member is to watch the electronic signs placed above you. They will tell you exactly what is expected of you during the show. For example, let's take there's the applause sign, of course. And here's the gasp sign. And the frequently used swoon sign. And, of course, blow your nose. Yes, just a few of the signs you'll be following. Get a clean shirt. That one has a stain. And it goes on and on. Now, once the show begins, each and every audience member is entitled to our free all-you-can-eat buffet with complimentary drinks.
More pudding, more tater tots, more blueberry waffles, another chicken, fried steak, and 2 more double tequilas.
Tater tots. So when the hostess comes to your seat.
Oh, and more shrimp salad, a dozen clams, and a double rye on the rocks.
Don't abuse the privilege. Now, in the course of the show, you will hear me asking questions to our guests like this. So, Dr. Zawicki, now that your book is a bestseller, do you have plans to buy a house in Las Vegas?
Yeah, a big house in Vegas, up like Wayne Newton has, with a kidney-shaped swimming pool. It'd be nutty. I love Vegas, you know. It's a 24-hour town. I would love to be there swinging kind of late at night with a couple of showgirls.
Rule number 2. The questions I ask are for the guests, not for members of the audience. Now, suppose I am interviewing a guest that you like, and as an audience member, you can suggest some questions simply by using this small microphone located under every seat. Now, this one is a direct line to me. When I appear to be drinking coffee, I'm actually trying to get as many audience questions as possible.
Ask him where he got his sport coat.
I was wondering, Doctor, if you could tell us where you got that sport coat.
Actually, I found it.
That's a fascinating story. So, feel free to suggest a sensible question. It certainly makes my job a lot easier.
Ask him how to spell shoe. Ask him what kind of mustard he likes. Ask him if Canada is big. Ask him why potato salad spoils in the sun.
Have any questions about tater tots? Once again, I said sensible questions. Now, here's another common problem for members of our audience. What to do if your view is blocked by an insensitive cameraman? Well, don't panic. There's no reason to get upset because on the floor under your seat is your personal cameraman prod. Now, yes, it emits a harmless low-voltage jolt that will get even the most hardened cameraman out of the way. And now, a word about the show itself. Some of the humor here on this program is very conceptual, and a lot of people just don't understand it. Now, if this should happen, don't be embarrassed to use our complimentary headphones just like this. They will connect you to a team of translators working backstage who will explain every joke in simple, easy-to-understand language.
Now I get it. That's good. To see time fly. Gosh, that's good.
And lastly, here's another common problem that you as an audience member may encounter.
Well, you know, Dave, what I'm really trying to say is that I'm sickened by the notion of baby animals. I think they should be illegal.
What to do if the guest says something that really, truly offends you? Well, every seat in our studio audience is equipped with a red button on the arm. Now, this is your guest ejection button and should be used only in real emergencies.
There's nothing worse disgusting than a baby bunny or worse than a bunch of puppies. Baby owls are disgusting. All baby birds, chicks.
Well, there you have it. Audience do's and don'ts. We'll be right back. Also, we have tonight, I'm pretty excited about this. We're going, New York City, if you know nothing else about the place, it is truly the land o' pizza. And tonight we are, we are going to take you on a small tour of some of New York City's finest pizza pie establishments. You've met Mr. Paul Schaefer in the band, and let's just, there he is again.
All fans now. We know.
Well, you know, Labor Day weekend has come and gone. And for most of us, so has the vacation season. But, you know, we've all traveled to exotic places and entertained a lot of friends in our homes. And now that the dust has settled, let's look back at what we have learned about how to entertain house guests. Shall we? Let's walk this way to my place. Luckily, it's right up the way here. Very near Paul. Hi, Paul. Nice to see you. Going into my home. Oops, somebody left the lights on. Thank you very much, Will. Yes, here we are at home. And tonight we're going to discuss how to entertain house guests. Now, the most important rule to remember is to make your guest feel welcome. Hi, come on in. Come on in, Larry Bud. Nice to see you. Make yourself feel at home, and anytime you're in my house, think of it as your house, and if there's anything I can do to make you more comfortable, just go ahead and let me know.
All right, get me a banana daiquiri. I like crushed ice, not cubes, and a clean pair of socks. Can you get some new carpet in here? And a copy of Jane Fonda's workout book.
Which reminds me of another important point.
Is this the only couch you've got?
It's always a good idea to find out how long your guest is planning to stay. How long are you going to be with us, Larry Bud?
Say, is this window facing east? Scotch. I'd hate to miss Haley's Comet.
Any mention of Haley's Comet is not a good sign.
Hey, let's have some fun. Hello, operator. Get me Manila. Any number, it doesn't matter. Hello, do you have Prince Albert in a can? Well, you'd better let him out. Gosh, I'm having some fun.
I'm going to be skipping over the rest of this section and go directly to part 2, how to get rid of a house guest. First, of course, you should try the obvious, that is, yawn and pretend you're tired.
Tired? No problem. I brought some nose doughs. Here we go.
Okay. Now, actually, it's like no-dos, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much.
Now, if this doesn't work, you're going to have to move on to something else. But listen carefully. Do not, at this point, call in the cloggers. Until you've exhausted every other strategy, I can't emphasize this enough. Use cloggers only as a last resort.
I'm a little hungry. I'll have veal cordon bleu. And Dan, what's your soup du jour?
Sometimes pretending to get an important message works, like this. Hello? Why, Larry Budd, it's your babysitter. She wants to know where you keep the fire extinguisher.
Oh, it's in the laundry room. Hey, it's snack time. Say, Dan, what have you got for snacks?
If your guest is hungry, try labeling everything in your refrigerator beets.
Steve! 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 All you have is Steve!
This, of course, doesn't work if your guest is dyslexic. Now, I know it's discouraging, but it's still not time to call in the cloggers.
Is it too late to change my order to steak tartare? Dan, by the way, I like it rare.
The hell was that? No. Like it?
Sorry.
I think you like it well done. Don't
Well
you?
done, is
Yeah,
it? Well,
done.
I changed. I didn't see it all.
It's all right. He likes it well done. Too much of that nose doze. Well, now, these open auditions are so important. Some house guests will leave if they think that you're suffering from potentially dangerous emotional problems. Say, Larry Budd, have you seen the portraits of my two favorite people, Ronald Reagan and Jodie Foster?
Oh, they're my favorites, too.
Oh. If that doesn't work, try making them think that they've already departed your premises. Boy, you know, it's a lot of fun to have house guests, but it's even better when they're gone.
I'm still here.
It was fun for a while, but after all, a guest can't stay forever.
Yes, I can. I haven't left. Look, I'm right over here.
You know, it's good to get a chance to sit back, relax, and spend some time by yourself again.
Oh, my gosh, I must be invisible. That means I can take off my clothes.
No, please. Now, in case of an emergency situation, you switch to Plan B. Put on the hit record, I've Never Been to Me by Charlene. Now, this will cause your neighbor to slam his window shut, which knocks over his flower pot, which hits the super Mr. Sheffield, which causes Mrs. Sheffield to call for an ambulance. The siren scares a flock of geese, which flies into the windshield of a gasoline tank truck, which drives into a concrete embankment and explodes, which the Army mistakes for a nuclear attack and retaliates.
Fire one!
Which, of course, causes World War III.
This is not a test. Repeat, this is an actual nuclear alert.
World War III? Then we're racing a clock.
Larry Budd, it's World War III.
World War III, then we're racing the clock. Why don't you make that steak tartare rare?
Larry Budd, it's the end of the world.
Nothing to lose now. I guess I'll take off my clothes.
Oh, no. When you have to, when all other chances have failed, you have no other recourse, now it's time to call in the cloggers. Anywhere you want. Now, this works 99% of the time. The only way it could possibly fail is if, by some incredible quirk of fate, your house guest is also a clogger. We'll be right back with Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
Paul Schaefer in the band. You know, in many states, this is an election year, and a lot of our younger viewers will be voting for the very first time. Of course, a lot of our older viewers will be voting for the last time, but I digress. Now, young Americans have a lot of question about the electoral process. I know I do, and I thought as a public service, we'd answer a few of those questions tonight. So why don't we walk on back to the polling place of our choice. Thank you, Hiram, Paul, Will. Hi, Steve. How are you? Here we are. Yes, one of the most frequently asked questions about voting is simply, who can vote? Well, every American over the age of 18 is certainly eligible to vote.
Hi, can I go ahead of you? Is Casey Kasem running for anything? I love Casey Kasem.
Yes, the 19th Amendment prohibited discrimination by sex, and the 24th Amendment prohibited discrimination by race. The 32nd Amendment prohibited discrimination because of acting ability. Well, these are just jokes, and apparently barely just jokes. Well, another commonly asked question is, why should I vote? Well, frankly, this question saddens me.
Why is that, Dave?
What's happening to America? Have we completely forgotten our heritage? It's obvious why we vote, because everyone who votes now gets a free gift. Yes, this year they're giving away these nifty all-purpose toaster ovens.
Hey, Dave, you could fit a whole chicken in there.
Another frequently asked question is, when voting, what should I wear? Well, I recommend one of these specially designed voting suits. Now, as you can see, this is equipped with ample places to store your political pamphlets and research material right here. It also contains a supply of oxygen in case of loss of oxygen in the booth. And here you have the heavy-duty gloves for lever pulling. There they are. And a 2-day supply of emergency rations. Where were those? Oh, right over here, I see. That's nice. And a 2-day supply of emergency rations in case of any decision-making difficulties. Well, I think we've about covered it, haven't we? Thank you very much for helping out.
I wish I had one of those.
Another frequently asked question is it true that when a baby is first born, you can mold its head into any shape you want? This, of course, has nothing to do with the subject at hand, so I'll continue. Now, who should I vote for?
Good question, really. I'm not being sarcastic.
No one can tell you who to vote for. Listen to all the candidates and decide who best reflects your political viewpoint.
And if elected, I promise to lower taxes across the board.
But remember, when you're listening to a speech...
And to work for prosperity both at home and abroad.
It's important to listen to the entire speech.
And finally, to force all children between the ages of 6 and 18 to attend special work camps in the mountains where they will learn to obey the word of Satan.
He's no Casey Kasem.
Hold on. He's got one more. Go ahead, finish it up.
Long live the Prince of Darkness.
Oh, okay, now it's okay. Thank you.
He's no Casey Kasem. Hey, everybody, look at that.
This brings up another point. Voting is free. You do not have to crawl under the curtain. Now, the next question, how long may you stay in the voting booth?
What should I do? All these names. Can I vote for them all? Where's my face? I can't find my face. Oh, wait, I found it.
Now, you can stay in the voting booth as long as you need.
Hey, Dave, send this down for me. Tell her to be careful of the buttons.
Who ordered room service?
Yes, I had room service. These are tiny egg rolls. I ordered salami coronet and a couple of shots of tequila.
As I said, stay in the booth as long as you need, but do not abuse the privilege.
I'm not going anywhere till they bring me my room service. Where do the pictures come out? I pressed every button. 4 poses for $1, right?
Well, I hope we've all learned a little something about voting tonight. We're going to continue the show, regardless of what you've seen here so far. We'll be back with comedian Steve Landesberg.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Letterman. You taught me and the rest of America that not only is voting our responsibility, it's also a lot of fun. That was the one bad thing about prison. They wouldn't let me vote.
Okay, well... We would like to welcome a brand new sponsor here tonight, AC Delco Company. For quality automotive replacement parts, AC Delco is the way to go, and not a minute too soon. We'll be right back.
And this is exciting. Occasionally we take you behind the bright lights, the people behind late night. Tonight's profile, prop manager Jimmy Fitzgerald. So phone the neighbors and wake the kids, if you will. That's all here tonight. You know, the World Series between the Brewers and the Cardinals is, of course, capping off the most successful season in baseball history. Over 73 million Americans went to see a ball game this year. They were Mr. Jason P. Aaron, Dr. Benjamin Abato, Marjorie Abrams, and Dale Butterworth. Well, we really haven't got time to list all 73 million of them. The point is, baseball is still the most popular spectator sport in the country. So we thought tonight we would take a few moments to review some of the proper rules of behavior to be observed at a ball game. Walk this way, won't you, ladies and gentlemen? Hi, Paul. How are you? Hiram?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Nancy Reagan will now throw out the ceremonial first ball.
Okay, fine. Now, this brings us to rule number 1. Don't throw out the first ball unless you have been asked to do so.
He was out. He was out a mile. He was safe. He was safe by a mile. I'm telling you, he was out. I said the man was safe.
This brings us to... Yes, I know. This brings us to rule number 2. To avoid confusion, decide which team to root for before you reach the stadium and try to make it an informed decision. Spend a few hours at the local library and learn something about each one. For example, did you know that there are more than 3,000 manufacturing plants in the city of St. Louis?
I had no idea. Go, Cardinals!
On the other hand, Milwaukee's harbor handles over 3 million metric tons of cargo every year.
Each year? Really? Go, Brewers!
But even after lengthy research, many people decide to remain neutral. If that's the case with you, don't be afraid to cheer.
I like you both equally. Don't force me to choose between you. Let the best man win.
Which brings us to rule number 3.
Give me an L! Give me an L!
When you yell out letters at ballparks, choose them carefully. They should form a word.
Give me another L!
Don't simply yell out letters at random.
Now give me a T!
Hey, hot dogs! Hey, hot dogs here.
Rule number 4. It's a lot of fun to eat junk food at the ball game, but be careful. A lot of vendors are unscrupulous.
Hey, hot dogs!
I'll take one of those, please.
Sure. Hey, hot dogs here.
Hold on, what the hell is this?
I told you, it's a hey hot dog.
With material of this caliber, I understand why we're on so late at night. Now, rule number 5. A lot of fans like to make signs and bring them to the ballpark. If the sign mentions the network televising the event, a lot of times they'll show it on TV. That's fine, but don't pander.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Which brings us to rule number 6. Know your national anthem.
Forgive me, I feel like such a fool.
And finally, even if you have a lot of money on the game, even if your team has no chance at all,
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
You are not allowed to use the public address system to try to stop the contest.
Attention, citizens of St. Louis. You are being attacked in Montana. You are in a state of war. Go back to your home and places of worship. This is not a joke. This ball game is over.
You're telling me. Baseball fever.
Go home, everybody. St. Louis needs you.
Catch it. We'll be right back with Howard Cosell.
We must repel the godless hordes from Montana. No more.
And plenty other things. I guess at this point I'll ask you to say hello to our good friend Mr. Paul Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Doing the show, working with a guy like you, is what makes this nutty, marvelous business so worthwhile.
Thank you, Paul. I feel the same way. You know, even though partying has been a way of life in America ever since the founding of Boston University, studies show that many people have trouble throwing a successful get-together in their home. Fortunately, Professor Eric Muller's classic text, Sie müssen feiern, You Will Party, has just been translated into English. It contains a lot of valuable advice about fun and how to achieve it in your own home. Let's go find out more about this, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, here we are. Here we are in the simulated home.
Haha, this is fun. Actually, it's not much fun as I had
Wait a minute, you've done it already. Let me... Grant Tinker is here tonight.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it contains a lot of valuable advice about fun and how to achieve it in your own home.
My, this is fun.
Muller devotes an entire chapter to this common oversight.
Actually, it's not as much fun as I had hoped, but it's fun nonetheless.
Yes, to ensure maximum party fun, be sure to invite some guests.
Now, why didn't I think of that? Good point. That's some book. What the hell do you want?
I'm invited to the party, remember? Let me in.
Does that give you the right to follow me? To torment me? To make every moment of my waking life a living hell?
Muller reminds us in Chapter 4 here that once you've gone to the trouble to invite your guests, let them in.
So tell me. I see I can learn so much from you.
Oh, good. Here come the guests. Well, it certainly looks like things are rolling along now, but to get them really going, you're going to have to learn the art of small talk.
So tell me, what would you rather have? A thumb 20 feet long that you can never amputate? Or be stuck on a roller coaster that never stops for 5 years?
A little like this sketch. In Chapter 9, Muller says that every good party should have a theme, a purpose, maybe a holiday, or perhaps a birthday.
How about this?
People make this mistake all the time. Holding a rake above your head does not constitute a theme.
Yes, it does. Look.
No, it doesn't.
Then how about this? Woo, 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 woo.
That's close, but not a theme either.
Say, I'm hungry. What have we got to eat here?
Well, this brings us to Chapter 12, Snacks. Muller suggests that if there's no real theme, be sure to have plenty of food.
Food? You want food? Fine. Gretel, get in here. Sorry, Gretel, you can't eat that. This man wants it.
Muller is very emphatic about this. If you don't want to serve food to your guests, just say so.
There's your food. Go on, take it. Gretel can find something tomorrow.
No, that's all right. I'm not hungry, thanks.
You do not have to resort to the old hungry orphan ruse.
Say, my gosh, look at the time. Why, I'd better be going now.
This party's no fun. I'm leaving.
Where are you going? Stay where you are, everyone. No one's going anywhere.
Lastly, Muller takes 2 chapters to remind us you can invite people to your party, but you cannot force them to stay.
You quiet one. Why don't you tell the others an amusing anecdote?
Party tips, ladies and gentlemen, party tips. And now, let's meet our cast. Ladies and gentlemen, the late night players. Appearing as Hugh Bannister was our own Danny Weiss. Thank you very much, Danny. Nice job. The part of Mrs. Carruthers was played by Mary Margaret Bannon. Mary, thank you very much. Dr. Thornton was, of course, Dave Siebert. And Jerry Norris appeared as himself. Thank you very much, folks. We'll be right back to talk this over with Grant Tinker.
You know, statistics show that every 3 weeks, somewhere in America, somebody buys a brand new car. Well, last week a young Methodist couple in Texas bought one. Perhaps you read about it. Now, for a lot of people, shopping for a new car is an unpleasant, even traumatic experience. They're confused by the great variety of models available and put off by the high-pressure tactics of many dealers. So we thought tonight, as a public service, we'd offer a few basic consumer hints that you might find useful next time you're shopping for an automobile. A segment that we like to call Dave's Consumer Corner. Dave's Consumer Corner. Yes. Well, I'll be darned. Here we are now in Dave's Consumer Corner. Rule number 1, when you're selecting a car, be very careful about a dealer. As a general rule, avoid dealers who refer to themselves only as Mr. X and who refuse to let you see their face. That would be rule number 1.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
No. Dave, may I say something?
Sure, go right ahead.
You people are beautiful. I mean that. I've had my ups and downs. I'm sure Dave has told you all about it. But the beautiful thing about show business is that it gives me the opportunity to share all the love of my heart with you, my audience. You see, I have this God-given gift, and it would be a crime if I didn't share it with you. And so I've decided to continue.
Fine. Buying a car.
Oh, yes, I love comedy. It's so challenging. I'm looking for a car that goes with my bumper sticker.
Yes, rule number 2. Your bumper stickers are going to look the same no matter what car you purchase. It should not be the single most important factor of your decision.
I love it. That's my car. Would you mind if I have my mechanic take a look at it?
No, sir, not at all. Go ahead.
Rule number 3, many people like to have their own mechanic look at the car before they drive it off the lot.
Hey, Jimmy, you got a minute?
But if you go to the trouble of bringing in your own mechanic...
Okay, thanks, Jimmy.
Don't forget to ask him what he thinks.
Excuse me, Dave, can I interrupt again?
Sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, so often in this business, the little people are overlooked, like Hiram Bullock, who I believe just gave a sterling performance. Hiram, come on out here. I'm sure the Academy has its eye on you. Good luck, buddy.
All right, now, rule number 4, testing the tires in the showroom is perfectly acceptable, but you've got to be realistic. No tire in the world can be expected to withstand a high-powered drill.
Did you see that? This car is a death trap.
Didn't even dent it. He didn't
I have
even
a wife
dent the
and
tire.
kids. Well, kids.
Rule number 5, safety is always an important consideration. Now, the government hires professionals to conduct crash simulation tests, and you can send away for those results.
Look out for that truck! Boom! Ah! Oh, my Lord! Shelley, are you all right? Speak to me, darling!
As a result, there is absolutely no need to conduct these tests yourself in the showroom.
$8,200, sir, and she's all yours.
This, of course, is the moment of truth, deciding on a price, and not a minute too soon.
Excuse me, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, folks, we're almost at the end of this fine, fine comedy sketch. But I didn't want to leave before I had a chance to tell you again how much I appreciated your support during my long, hard climb to the top. I won't betray your trust. I love you all. Paul, would you mind? People who need people.
And that, I suppose, concludes this segment of Dave's Consumer Corner. We'll be right back with heavyweight boxer Tex Cobb. What we've decided to do here tonight, all year long, we have been assembling night after night fine comedy for you, the American viewer. Well, as it turns out, when you're producing this much comedy on a nightly basis, you just can't use all of it. So tonight, we thought, in a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse into Inside TV, we'd share with you some odds and ends, scraps, and leftover pieces of comedy that have never been seen before in the United States. One day last summer, on a special 90-minute version of this show, we did our beach etiquette program, and there was a sketch involving Larry Bud Melman. He had a joke. We removed it. We're going to give it to you tonight. Here it is, as never before seen on American television. Larry Bud.
Everyone knows a drowning man goes down 3 times. So I always carry one of these so I can keep track. 1, 2, 3.
In addition to that, a guy we had on the show once before, well, I won't tell you. He's back again tonight. What an introduction, huh? Chaz Chase is here tonight. Also, comedian A. Whitney Brown is here tonight, and we're going to take another look at my record collection. Now say hello to our good friend, Mr. Paul Schultz with you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. I just finished my copy. I've been reading it since Christmas time. It took me this long, but it was fascinating. Dave magazine. Can you see that? And I gotta say, I've been looking through it. Here's the young David Letterman. You gotta see this. It's got everything in it. But what fascinates me the most is I finally got to the back cover. This is where you can order all the products that you see every night on TV. You got the late night facial blotters are here, the sponges, and of course the fabulous late night fly catcher, fly paper. A lot of people might think $24.95 is like a lot to pay for this, but I know about the work and craftsmanship that goes into this. I think it's cheap at twice the price. This is Dave magazine. Send in for that stuff. I get a cut on it.
Thank you very much, Paul. You know, ladies and gentlemen, if you're like me, and I have reason to believe that you are, nothing can ruin an ocean voyage quicker than having the ship suddenly hit an iceberg and sink in the middle of the freezing Atlantic, stranding you with a bunch of strangers you don't even like in some lousy little lifeboat, cramped and starving to death, drifting aimlessly for months and months and months. But waiting to be rescued does not have to be all wretchedness and despair. if you follow the proper rules of lifeboat etiquette. By the way, Paul, did you know we're doing lifeboat etiquette tonight?
I heard, Dave, and I got to say the band and I are thrilled.
Okay, we're all thrilled about lifeboat etiquette here tonight. Okay, the band is thrilled about lifeboat etiquette. Oh, there's the film showing. Oh, here it is now. Lifeboat etiquette coming your way any minute now. Just within a couple of minutes, we'll be getting into lifeboat etiquette.
Bon voyage! Bon voyage!
Here's rule number 1. Yelling bon voyage is perfectly acceptable when a ship is leaving port.
Bon voyage!
But it is considered bad form to yell bon voyage as the ship is going down.
Thanks, Dave. Good point. I'm not scared anymore.
Okay, good for you. Now, this brings us to rule number 2.
Look, the humidifier. It's almost empty.
Oh my gosh, quick.
We gotta get some water in here.
Get this thing going.
Let's get some water in here. Come on.
You need a hand with that? Let me get this for you. I can get it for you.
Yeah, get some water in here. Come on. We gotta get it. Come on, you get that all over me.
Well,
Okay, here we are. Be careful now with your water. Every drop is precious. Use the humidifier only at night.
thanks, Dave. Good point.
And now a word about lifeboat morale.
I'm having a little get-together Saturday night. Just you and me, Howard. Hope you can make it.
Rule number 3, if it's a small lifeboat,
Nothing fancy, you know. Drinks, maybe dinner.
and you're going to throw a party, be sure to invite everyone.
Well, what's wrong with me? You little stick!
Now, as I said before, every drop of water is precious. You cannot go around throwing it in people's faces.
But Dave, he insulted me.
Well, a cutting remark will always do just as well, but if you must throw something, use your imagination. Why not an oar, or perhaps a length of anchor chain?
How about a paper airplane?
Well, a paper airplane would be fine. Sure, that would be nice.
Hey, look, a paper plane was saved. A plane was saved there.
Rule number 4, when deciding who gets to go on the lifeboat, a simple IQ test might not be a bad idea.
That really hit the spot.
Now, this brings us to rule number 5. No matter how bad things get, you must never, never drink water from the ocean. It will destroy your brain and make you delirious.
Nonsense, Dave. I've been drinking this stuff for years.
Let this man serve as a valuable lesson to young and old alike. Now, here we are already at rule number 6. The time may come when you decide that the only way to survive is cannibalism.
I can't stand the hunger anymore. One of us will have to be eaten. Let's put everybody's name in the hat. There's me and Howard, Larry Budd, the turkey, the 20-pound canned ham, the lima beans.
Oh, I hope it's not the lima beans. Ah.
All right, but before you take that final step, make sure you've considered every possible food source.
Dave, what about the commissary?
Well, sure, but the sketch about lifeboat etiquette, the commissary really has nothing to do with this.
But it's just up on the next floor. We are about to resort to cannibalism. Do you mind?
Well, no, I guess not. Going to go up to the commissary now. Shouldn't take too long. Going.
What do the guys want?
Well, why don't you ask them?
Okay. What do you want, guys?
Have a turkey on rye.
What-
Mayonnaise.
What's the special?
Well, the special, I believe, is breaded chicken with vegetables.
Get me that little extra gravy. Don't forget the change.
Dave, do you want coffee with
Just
cream?
coffee would be good. Black, please.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. Well, there you have lifeboat etiquette. He'll be right back. And we'll be right back with Jim Palmer. And it's Tuesday night, and that, of course, means it's time once again for another one of our wonderful etiquette pieces. One of the pleasures of living in a big city like New York is the chance to try out a lot of great restaurants. So tonight, I would like to share some tips with you folks on how to dine out. Walk this way, if you will, won't you? Yes, tips on dining out. Thank you very much, Paul. Tips on dining out. First of all, startled me. You know, you can tell an awful lot about a restaurant by the cars in the parking lot. Don't eat at a restaurant that has its own ambulance service. Now, I say don't eat at a restaurant if it has its own ambulance service. Okay, also, if more than one customer arrives on a riding mower, think twice about going in. Thank you very much. You're thinking twice about coming in yourself. Now, you can also tell a lot about a restaurant by the name. Here are some key words to watch for. For example, the burger experience, burgers and things, Burger Emporium. Emporium is the key word here. Also, the Great American Burger Works, purveyors of great and grog. All of these combined mean only one thing: high school kids working with a microwave oven. Now, just look for a simple, straightforward name, like Ed's Burgers, for example. That way, there's always somebody you can hold responsible if the food is awful. Oh, now this looks promising. You must be Ed. Good evening.
I'm Ed.
No, I'm not. No. Okay, let's try this once again. Both of you just go out and we'll try it all over. This will be fun, Helene. We'll get this squared away. Okay, simple name, Ed's Burgers. Now, Ed's Burgers. Oh, well,
good evening.
Good evening. Now, this looks promising. Are you Ed?
No, I'm not.
Uh-huh.
I'm Ed.
You're Ed. Well, Ed right here. Well, apparently they're serving rather large portions. Now, next, ask to see a menu. Thank you very much. The menu, by the way, should be on a piece of paper, not on a canoe paddle, not on a bottle, not a railroad tie, not a dressmaker's mannequin, not a tractor seat, not a human organ. Now, ask to see a waitress. Could I see a waitress, please? Now, if she appears costumed...
Ahoy, me hearties!
...and says anything other than, hello, may I help you, this is the time to leave. Thank you very much, folks. I have to leave. Every living member of my family just went into surgery. Thank you very much. Now, let's find another restaurant. Debbie's. Now, this looks like a pretty good place. Can't go too badly wrong with a place named Debbie's. Could I see Debbie, please?
I'm Debbie.
Yeah. May I see a menu, Debbie? Thank you very much. Why, Debbie, this menu says Denny's. I thought this place was Debbie's.
Debbie's, Denny's. What's 2 letters?
Well, now, this is not a good sign. When a restaurant gives you a menu, it ought to be their own, but for the sake of the argument, let's go on any.
Well, how many are you today?
Well, for some reason, waiters always ask this. Simply ignore them. They do it to annoy you, and it doesn't really mean anything anyway.
To you, perhaps. Obviously, you don't know Zen. In this river that is life, we are all many. I am the sky, a bird, a drop of glistening dew. Each of us is all there is. How many are you today?
Well, Debbie, I'm still just one.
Oh, that's very beautiful. Can I show you to a table?
Well, sure, Debbie. Now, be very particular about choosing your table. Real gourmets like to sit near the kitchen. This way, the sounds you overhear will help you to understand the subtlety of the cuisine. Let's listen, shall we?
Oh, I still feel awful. The doctor thinks it's the mumps.
Quit complaining. Did you bone those weasels?
No, we don't have time. Just throw them in.
When you're done making the slaw, see if you can get this thing off my shoe.
Oh, did you spit in the soup?
Okay, now,
This brings us to our last point. Thank God. What if, after all your scrutinizing, the place still turns out to be a dump? Well, always bring along one of these, and you won't have to pay for your dinner. Look over there, will you? Oh, my God. Excuse me, sir. Debbie? Look what I found in my bread.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what to say.
Well, welcome to the club. You know what this is? This appears to be a hair-covered croquet ball.
I know, sir. I'm so embarrassed. This is the second one of these today. Your dinner is on the house.
Well, thank you very much, Debbie. Oh, my gosh. Well, certainly hope you enjoyed those dining out tips, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fine program, as I keep telling you. How about a hand for everybody who helped us out in this wonderful bit of theater here tonight? Come on out, folks. We'll be right back with Jay Leno. Is there anything else we should cover before we begin the show? You all right, Paul? We'll talk later?
Start the show.
Okay, we're going to start the show right now, ladies and gentlemen. You know, a recent study indicates that in 1983, this very year we're in now, every single person in the United States will be hospitalized for at least 5 months. Yes? Now, this study is obviously bogus, probably a college prank. Still, it does raise an interesting question or two. What are the proper rules of behavior when visiting a friend in the hospital? Let's review some of them now, shall we? Hospital music. Charlie, how are you? Nice to see you. Well, here we are in the... Okay, fine. Here we are in the hospital ward. Hi, how are you feeling today? Okay, let's get on to rule number 1 now. This may seem like a minor point, but what you wear to visit someone in the hospital is very important. Some outfits are more appropriate than others.
Hi, feeling better today? Oh, I hope my choice of evening attire hasn't upset you.
All right, rule number 2 now. It's customary when you're visiting someone in the hospital to bring a little gift, and I have done that. I've brought you a little gift. This is a lovely calendar with beautiful pictures, and I hope you enjoy that calendar.
This is just what I wanted, Dave. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I hope it speeds
Wait
your
a
recovery.
Second. Where's November and December?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the doctor had been in here.
Good one, Dave.
Dave.
Yes.
Dave.
What is it?
Come closer.
Yes, what is it? I'm right here.
Come closer.
I'm fine. I can hear you. Yes,
Dave.
what is it?
Well, it's really nothing, but if I just say 20 lines, I get an extra $180.
Fine, we'll talk about that later. Now, here's rule number 3. You know, it's always a good idea to bring along some food when you visit a friend in the hospital.
Oh, hey, thanks a lot. I hate the food here.
Oh, I know. It's awful, isn't it?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, here, I brought you food from another hospital.
Another hospital?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, except with this batch, I think you get a double order of warm tapioca.
Hey, off my arm.
Oh, that brings up another interesting point. Do not, and I repeat here, do not sign a guy's arm unless he is wearing a cast.
Oops!
All right, here we are, rule number 4. Sometimes just watching television can be soothing, but make sure you keep your friend's condition in mind when deciding what you want to watch.
I'd like to watch Taxi, please.
All right, a fine NBC program. Let me look it up here in the guide. Well, oh, geez, tonight Louis finds a young blonde cadaver in a cab. I don't think this is the one you need to be watching.
I love a good one, Dave.
Okay. Your timing is impeccable. It's really...
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Here we are, rule number 5. Remember, after major surgery, your friend may be delirious. He may keep ranting and raving. Now, just keep this in mind. He really doesn't know what he's saying.
No, not stupid Petrix again. No, please. No, not Marv Albert. He's always on the show. I can't take it anymore. Can we please watch Nightline?
Okay, fine. We'll watch Nightline. We'll be happy to watch Nightline. And just what do you think the chances are of Ted Koppel putting you in a sketch?
Say, I don't have many lines in this piece, do I, Dave?
No, that's all right. Now, finally... Finally, what you want to do to cheer up a friend in the hospital. By the way, what is your problem?
It's stomach pains.
It's stomach
I can't
pains.
describe it. It's
Man's
all
been
over.
hospitalized for stomach pains.
Oh.
How long have you been in here?
I've been in here for months.
For months with stomach pains. All right, well, here's a good way to cheer up a friend in a hospital. Contact a player on your local baseball team. Now, nothing will cheer up your sick friend faster than having someone hit a home run just for him. Let's listen in now to a ball game. Do you mind if I turn on the radio?
No, go right
All right,
ahead.
let me just switch it on right there.
And Johnson steps out to the plate.
Oh, Johnson.
And now he's pointing to the center field fence. Here's the windup, the pitch. Oh, no, he's been hit. Johnson's down. He's not moving. Here comes the ambulance now. You know, fortunately, Don, there's a major medical institution not very far from here.
Well, good heavens. But remember, when you're going to do this, do some scouting and be sure to pick the proper ball player. Pick the proper ball player. And you go ahead and pick the proper ball player. Well...
Hi, don't let my choice of evening attire upset you. I am a friend. I think I know what you're doing wrong. You're choking up on the bat too much. Take a half step back, redefine your strike zone.
Yes, sir. I tell you what we're going to do. We'll take a half step back now and redefine our strike zone. We'll be right back.
Keep your chin down, open up your hips when you swing. This is something that can't be
Also, one of my favorites, Stupid Petrix, on this program. And we will be taking a look at the results of a fascinating viewer survey of the show Late Night, which is this. I kind of went away there for a moment, but don't worry, the pilot is in control. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to break this to you, but if you live in New York, or even if you're just visiting, sooner or later, you're going to have to go outside. Now, this means walking down the street. Your experience on the streets of New York will be a lot less frightening if you follow the proper rules of behavior. Walk this way now as we review some of those rules of behavior for you. Well, here we are on the streets of New York City.
Yo, buddy, you want to buy a watch?
Okay, this is rule number 1. This city is full of street peddlers.
Hey, it's a Rolex, solid gold, brand new, $10.
Okay, now this may sound like a really good bargain, but many of these guys are unscrupulous con artists. For example, there's no way I can tell if this is an authentic Rolex. For all I know, it may even be stolen.
How about some cufflinks?
No, I don't care for the cufflinks either.
Nice tie.
No, don't care for the tie either.
How about a fire hydrant?
No, I have a hydrant of my own. Thank you anyway.
Hey, buddy, you want to buy a watch?
That brings us to rule number 2. Another type of con artist to watch out for is the 3-card Monte player. Now, this simple card game may look like easy money to you, but most of the dealers are shrewd and ruthless professionals.
Find the red, get paid for the head. I don't get mad when I lose, I just get glad when I win. Who sees it? Do you see it?
Excuse me, aren't those cards supposed to be face down?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've only been at this a few months. I don't know what I was thinking.
Get paid for the head. All right, remember, a lot of these guys work in teams and they have partners hidden in the crowd, so there's absolutely no way that you, the unsuspecting tourist or a streetwalker, can identify, well, not streetwalker, but there's no way that you, the average visitor to New York City, can possibly identify his partner.
Well, sure, it's not like I know you. I've never seen you before in my life.
Would you mind if I played in this game?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, now, by the way, in New York City, it's now the law. Anything that sticks to the bottom of your shoe is yours to keep. So take that home and enjoy it. Here, then, is rule number 3. The newspapers in this city print so many different editions, it's possible to stay pretty well informed just by reading the headlines. For example, let me hold up this paper and show you the headline. And as you can see, it says, Larry Budd executes 3-card Monty gag perfectly.
Hey, this isn't a library.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a later edition of this same newspaper? Oh, thank you very much. See what I mean? TV star mistakes newsstand for library. It's just uncanny. By the way, there was a typo in this one. All right, now...
It's those rockets. It's that rocket testing. That's why I can't sleep.
Okay, now, this brings us to rule number 4, kind of a sensitive topic. You're going to see a lot of very colorful people on the streets of New York. Perhaps they'll even be talking to themselves. It's usually innocent, usually quite harmless, incoherent gibberish. Simply ignore it. That's all you have to worry about.
The FDA has asked me to announce the following warning. Nothing you wear on your head during sex can help you avoid disease. So don't throw your money away on the so-called herpes hat.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. The herpes hat, yes. All right, finally a word about street performers. You know, the streets of New York have become one giant theater. You'll see all types of young performers. You have musicians, comics, jugglers, and mimes, like this one right here. This will be nice to see a mime. And, oh, this is good. He's doing the classic routine, trapped in a glass box. Notice how self-confident he looks. Of course, it's easy to be confident when you're just pretending. Now, I know it's expensive, but see if you can arrange to put him in an actual glass box. And then see what color his face turns. That's great. Well, here, let me put a little something in there.
I needed to raise some money. I needed money fast.
No, that's fine.
Get me out of here, please. Please get me out of here.
Okay, well, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with Stupid Pet Tricks.
We're going to have a look at my neighborhood and all kinds of other stuff, right, Paul?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. All kinds of other stuff. You know, as regular viewers of this program know, we here at Late Night are going through the encyclopedia alphabetically, offering etiquette tips on every subject in the world. 2 weeks ago, we did air conditioning etiquette, and last week we did aircraft carrier etiquette, which brings us to what's tonight, Hal? What are we doing tonight?
Excuse me, Dave?
What etiquette are we doing tonight, Hal? We're going...
airplane etiquette.
That's right, airplane etiquette. Thank you very much, Paul, Hal. Precision, wasn't it? Fine. Airplane etiquette. Follow me, ladies and gentlemen, as we start the airplane etiquette. Off to a flying start. Well, here we are on the old airplane, and to begin with, the first thing you should know, the rules regarding luggage. Excuse me.
Excuse me, you can only bring one suitcase on board.
I only have one suitcase. This one's my wallet.
Oh, my. And a handsome wallet it is, too. All right, the next thing you want to do, most airlines let you choose either an aisle or a window seat. Now, a window seat, of course, offers a view, but naturally it's going to be a view from 36,000 feet. That's why I like to bring along my own view. You just put one of these right there in the airplane window, give you a feeling of security. This way, if you crash from only 5 or 10 feet, how badly can you get hurt? Now, if you don't have your own view, then select a seat here in the aisle.
Oh, excuse me. I think I forgot something. No, my mistake, sorry.
Yeah. Of course, as you can see, the aisle seat offers another set of problems. And unfortunately, the airlines do not let you choose your seat mate.
Do you mind if I smoke?
What is that, a goiter or your wallet? However, however, the airlines will let you choose smoking or non-smoking, and this seat happens to be in a non-smoking section.
Oh, it is? Okay, I'll go smoke in the restroom.
No, 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 no. You're not going to smoke in the restroom.
Well, if I can't smoke, do you mind if I ran incoherently for the next 4 hours?
I don't think we have a choice. Now, in a pouch in front of your seat, you're going to find a complimentary copy of the airline magazine. Now, this is a real bonus because when it hits the stands, it's going to set you back a couple of dollars. By the way, if the airline you are traveling has named its magazine something cute, now is a good time to make other travel arrangements. You're also going to find one of these. It's a complimentary air sickness bag. Now, on the newer ones, one side is a form with which to order film. So, if you do need film, fill this baby out before the meal is served, all right? Now, a problem you may experience during takeoff is a popping and a feeling of pressure in your ears.
Dave, I'm experiencing a popping and a feeling of pressure in my ears.
All right. Well, why don't you try attaching some of these leeches to your face? This won't actually reduce the pressure in your ears, but trust me, it's a pretty effective distraction. Now, at the beginning of every flight, your stewardess will instruct you about what to do in case of an emergency. Please, it's very important here, try to pay attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, then simply ask the stewardess to repeat it.
Excuse me, I wasn't paying attention. Can you go by that again?
Don't worry, a guy like you doesn't have a prayer. If you'd like anything else, just let me know.
Yes, can you get a duplicate set of these keys made for me? And also 8 pairs of tube socks.
You wear tube socks? That's interesting. Your stewardess is here to help you, but don't take advantage of that.
Would you like your lunch now?
Oh, sure.
Yes, thank you. I'm hungry as a hog.
Excuse me, stewardess, but what exactly is this?
I don't know, but just a moment, I'll find out.
Okay. A recent FAA ruling guarantees every passenger the right to have their meal identified by an expert.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes, I was wondering if you could tell me what this is exactly.
The liquid or the hard object?
Both. Try both.
Well, the liquid appears to be some kind of meat.
Uh-huh.
The hard object, let me see, is pea gravel.
Pea gravel. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
I'll take yours if you're not going to eat it.
Oh, no. Help yourself. After lunch, what I like to do, initiate some in-flight hijinks. Here's a little trick. Wait till the person next to you is sleeping, and then watch what I do. No, trust me, I'm not going for his wallet. Watch what I'm doing here. Okay, here's what you do. He's sound asleep. Hey, buddy, wake up, wake up.
What?
Well, I guess we're going to find out now if these seat cushions really do float.
Attention, this is your captain speaking. We're about to land in Chicago.
Chicago? Oh, no. Isn't that the Windy City? I didn't know we were really going somewhere. I didn't bring any sweaters. I thought this was just a sketch. Oh.
It is just a sketch.
Oh.
Oh, no. Well, no. Wait a minute. Hold it. Hal?
Yes, Dave?
Did Pete push the applause button?
I'm afraid he did, Dave.
Pete, I've told you about this. You've cheated these good Americans. Pete, can you apologize to the folks?
He said he'll never do it again, Dave.
All right. Okay. Thank you. I'm awfully sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm awfully sorry to you also. Well, we'll be right back with Don Rickles. Plenty other stuff. We got all kinds of things planned for you folks. You know, here at Late Night, one service we perform is giving our viewers tips on how to behave in certain situations. And this Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving, so please join us now as we guide you through the maze-like complexities of Thanksgiving etiquette. Walk this way, won't you? If I could walk this way, I wouldn't need the talcum powder. Hi, Hiram. How you doing? Nice to see you, Steve. Did you have a good weekend? Oh, good. All right. Okay, here we are. You know, for many people, Thanksgiving is the best holiday of the year, but not knowing the proper customs and traditions can turn even this happy holiday into a nightmare of etiquette atrocities. Rule number one for a host is have plenty of food. Now, when you get right down to it, most people are not that crazy about turkey. That's why this year at our house, we're stuffing the turkey with everybody's favorite, yes, fish sticks. Oh, boy, there's good eating. Well, that should be my guest arriving now. Come on in, won't you?
Hi, David.
Hi, Larry. Nice to see you. Larry is here now. Larry, I'm certainly glad you could make it. Thanks for coming over.
Well, in that case, you'll be glad my wife could make it, too. Tiffany.
Tiffany, his wife, is here also. Tiffany.
And my son.
Your son, Troy. Nice to see you, Troy. How are you?
Yeah, see my new camera?
Yeah, I'll be able to see it in a couple of days.
And my brother Clifford, who came in from out of town just for Thanksgiving.
Oh, great, Clifford. Nice to meet you. What would Thanksgiving be like without 3 or 4 uninvited guests?
Don't worry, we brought our own dishes.
Oh, well, good. When some people visit on... When some people visit on Thanksgiving, they like to bring food when they're invited for dinner. And if you do bring food as a gift, be sure it's something that goes with turkey.
Here, Mr. Letterman, we brought you this.
Oh, that's swell. It's a frozen TV turkey dinner. Yes, sir. Just one more there.
That's right. Nothing goes with turkey like turkey.
That's right. Thank you. Well, why don't all of you have a seat, folks? Go right ahead and sit down there. Now, a good host will make sure all of the Thanksgiving traditions are observed, but you know, there really aren't any Thanksgiving traditions, so feel free to improvise. Here, watch this. Now it's time, thank you, Tommy, for everybody to fill the old Thanksgiving kettle with gifts for the host. Here you are. I'll put that there. I'll start this off with my own gold watch. There you go, folks.
Here's my necklace.
Okay.
And my bag.
And your bag. That's very nice of you.
You can have my wallet.
Uh-huh.
And take my ID bracelet.
And your ID bracelet. And what about you, little fella? How about that camera? Okay, that's just great. Thank you very much.
But gee, David, I got these socks.
No, I tell you, that's all right. Sometimes these new traditions can backfire. Let me put that over there. Thank you very much. Now it's time for that special moment. Larry, would you like to do the honors?
Excuse me, Larry. What exactly are you doing there?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was a piñata.
No, Larry. This is no piñata. This is a turkey. I wanted you to carve the turkey. Well, heck, I'll go ahead and carve the turkey. Which part of the turkey would you like, Larry?
Let's see.
Go ahead, take your time.
Yeah.
You don't want to make a mistake.
Some of that limb for me.
Oh, okay. Now, right away, see, this is another Thanksgiving faux pas. Refer to this portion of the turkey right here as a leg or a drumstick, not as a severed limb. Also, at this time, it's customary to remember all the things we have to be thankful for.
Like all the good things that have happened to us this year.
And all the bad things that have happened to other people.
No. This is another Thanksgiving blunder. It's not polite to be thankful for the misfortunes of others. All right, go ahead. Let's dig in, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Go ahead and, oh, sure, let me pass the old turkey around. There you go. Now, while you're eating, be sure to keep the conversation at the table light and pleasant.
Say, Clifford, did you know that turkeys are force-fed protein pellets and constantly injected with steroids and growth hormones just to get more white meat?
Well, that was an example of improper dinner conversation. Now, another thing is, if you don't like the food, it's impolite to come right out and say so. Mrs. Melman, I notice you haven't touched your food yet.
Yes, I have. I just didn't eat any of it.
Okay. Okay, well, now when dinner is over, it's it's polite to offer to help clean up.
I'll do the dishes.
Well, all right. It's getting late here, folks. I know you all have to leave, and it's certainly been good fun having each and every one of you here. Thanks again for coming over.
It was our pleasure, David. This has been the best Thanksgiving ever.
Oh. Well, and that goes double for me. Well, we'll be right back with Isabella Rossellini after you take a look at this. Cindy, listen, we're going to go and show the hotel etiquette from the Virgin Islands, so stay right there.
Okay.
All right.
Etiquette's my...
On our recent visit to the Virgin Islands, we decided to do something we could never do here in New York City, hang around a hotel room all day. That's right, and while we were at it, we put together a guide for tourists and travelers on proper hotel etiquette.
Hi. Welcome to the islands.
Thank you for your help, son. All I have is 100.
What we'd like to do is share some valuable travel tips with you. First, what you want to do is check over the room carefully. Now, the seasoned traveler reads everything in his quest for a bargain. Look what I found on the door back here. The winter season rates. One person stays in this room for $196. Two people stay in this room for $198. So what you do, hang around the lobby, find somebody who has a room, then pay up the extra $2, and you can stay with them. Come on in here. We got something else to show you. Well, here we are in the bathroom and more signs. This one says, all room towels are accounted for. Please do not remove them from the room. That's okay with us, isn't it, Larry?
Sure, because we're just here for the bedspreads and pillows.
That's right. This is kind of interesting. These glasses have been sanitarily sealed for your protection. And I, for one, applaud that. Here you go, Larry. Why don't you enjoy yourself a nice drink?
Thanks, Dave.
Sure. Thirst quenching, isn't it?
Yes, Dave.
Yeah. Before you come down to the Virgin Islands, everybody says, wait till you see the water. It's unbelievably blue. And they're right. Take a look for yourself.
Gee, Dave, it's just like the postcards.
You know, if you're traveling by yourself, it can sure be lonely, but here's a good cure for loneliness. Call the front desk and leave a wake-up call for yourself every 15 minutes. How can you be lonely when you're getting so many calls, huh?
Gee, Dave, you go first class.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, many numbers are listed, of course. There's the bell captain, room service, front desk, housekeeping, and they list all these things for your convenience. So remember, call them up and let them know you're here.
Hello, Bell Captain, this is Larry Melman. Just letting you know I'm here. I'll be here for the next couple of hours in case you need anything. Bye now. Now, can I do that other one, Dave?
Oh, sure, Larry. Why not? Let me get it for you.
Oh, boy, Dave. Oh, boy, Dave. Hello, room service. Send up a room. Here's another handy tip. Your room key has postage guaranteed, so you can use them as stamps.
That's right, Larry. Just attach any personal letters to your key, and then tell your friends that they can pick up their mail down at the hotel desk. That's a good one, isn't it? Yeah. We're having quite a time, aren't we? Yeah. This brings us to the topic of free hotel gifts. Every luxury resort hotel room comes equipped with a complimentary piece of lawn furniture. Don't forget to take yours with you when you check out. This will look good in the yard, won't it? Yeah.
Take a look at this TV. It's not even bolted to the floor. Do you believe it? I'll have this baby out of here in no time.
Well, here's a common traveler's dilemma. If you put the bedspread and the pillow into your suitcase, where are you ever going to be able to put the lamp?
Well, that's why it's wise to bring more than one suitcase. Otherwise, you're going to just have to make 2 trips.
You sure wouldn't want to do that, would you, Larry? No, sir. You know, another thing that makes hotels the greatest? Free ice and more free ice. All the ice you want. You're entitled to it, so be sure to get your fair share.
I have found that you can't have too much of it and leave room in a suitcase to take the extra home. It's a shame to waste it.
Good advice. What are you going to do with yours, Larry?
Gee, I haven't made up my mind yet.
I'm going to pack fish.
Okay, great.
Okay, a little hotel etiquette. Cindy, it was a delight meeting you. Thank you very much for telling us all about the PEG principle. The album, of course, Cyndi Lauper, she's so unusual, and the big hit single, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Come back and see us again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with Bob Whitey after you take a look at this, folks. You know, winter's almost over and spring is just around the corner, and that means young people's thoughts are turning to, well, you feel a little lightheaded, you get a little teary-eyed. Yes, it's the cold and flu season. And for those of you planning a visit to the doctor soon, we're going to now take some time to review a few rules of doctors' waiting room etiquette. Walk this way, if you will, won't you? And of course, if I could walk this way, I wouldn't need the talcum powder. Well, here we are in the waiting room. Now, the first thing when you arrive in the doctor's office waiting room, you want to let the nurse know you're here. So you just walk right up to the registration desk. Hi, I'm here for my flu shot. The name is Letterman, 10 o'clock.
Fine. The doctor will be with you shortly.
Uh-huh.
Would you care for some donuts, some marshmallow Krispies, or some flan? Only $2.50 a dozen. We baked them up right here in our office.
No, that's I'm really not interested, thank you.
Well, how about a shoe shine and a manicure?
No, I'm fine.
Do you need any yard work done?
No, I don't need any yard work done. This brings us to rule number 1. Beware of doctors who depend on extra sources for their income. You want to watch that for...
Need a flu shot? I got flu shots. All you need, $50 a pop.
Who are you exactly?
I'm the doctor. Well, I'm a friend of the doctor's.
I'm loosely associated with him, but he told me you needed a flu shot. $50 a pop.
Rule number 2, don't buy a flu shot from anyone in the waiting room. Wait until you're inside the office before getting any shots. Thank you very much.
Flu shots. Did I hear somebody mention flu shots? I'm pretty sure I have the flu.
Pretty sure I have the flu.
Thank you for your kind applause.
Okay.
Thank you for your kind applause. You're too good to me, really. Excuse me, sir. I understand you're offering flu shots at a bargain price. Dave, could you hold this for me?
Why, sure. What is this, Larry?
This is a doctor's office. What do you think it is?
Here you go. This is rule number 3 now. Never agree to hold anything for anyone in a doctor's waiting room.
Why, it's little Davy. My, how you've grown.
Hold it right there, Aunt Helen. Don't make me use this. I'll put daylight 3 if I have to. Now get over there and sit down. Go on. No false moves. Well, what you have to remember here is people are in this office because there is something wrong with them, and you just can't be too careful.
Say, why are you seeing the doctor?
I have a duodenal ulcer.
Oh, that's terrible. Here, why don't you try a barbecue potato chip and some some bean dip? That'll make you feel better.
Yeah. Well, here's another common mistake to avoid. The rule is starve a duodenal ulcer, feed a fever.
I'm always getting that one mixed up.
Yeah, that's tricky to remember.
Excuse me, sir. You forgot to check in. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Larry Bud Melman.
And what did you want to see the doctor about? Excuse me? I'm sorry, Mr. Melman. You'll have to speak up.
I said when I sweat, I get a rash on my thigh that looks like the map of Mexico.
Well, this, I'd pay good money to see that. Now, this teaches us another important, don't sneak up on me. This teaches us another important lesson. Don't laugh at other people's symptoms.
This waiting is boring, Dave. What am I supposed to do?
Well, that's a good point. Now, exactly how long should you wait in a doctor's office before you get really steamed? You know, it's not unusual for a doctor to keep you waiting a long time, but you shouldn't feel obligated to wait more than one seasonal change.
Is Mr. Johnson here?
That's me. I'm right here.
Larry, you're not Mr. Johnson. What are you trying to do here?
But I'm tired of waiting. This is my chance to see the doctor.
Don't worry, Mr. Johnson. Although the procedure is extremely painful, it's effective nearly 30% of the time.
That reminds me of another rule. Never pretend to be another patient. Larry, this sounds pretty serious.
I don't care, David. I have nothing to live for.
What do you mean you have nothing to live for? You have your work on the show here, you have our respect, and of course the respect of your millions of fans, and of course you have your day job. I know you love your day job, and you still have that, all your friends there at the day job, Larry.
Not anymore, Dave. I just lost my day job. Didn't you see this article in yesterday's New York Times?
Well, let's see what we have here, Larry. New York Times, Monday, March 12th. By day, Mr. Melman worked part-time as a receptionist in a drug rehabilitation center, but last month his boss found out about Mr. Melman's nighttime career and asked him to resign. Is that true, Larry? Oh, gee, what was that guy's name? You don't know? You worked... Well, I guess the turnover there was so frequent that you hardly had time to memorize your boss's name, but... gee, Larry, I'm sorry to hear that you lost your job. I don't know what to say about that. That's awful.
I could just die.
Yeah, well, I wish there was some way I could convince you that life is worth living.
Dave, there's a phone call for you.
Oh, thank you, Hal.
You can put the nurse's desk if you want to.
Thank you very much. It's Hal, our director. He's safe in the booth. Yeah, hello?
David, this is Gordon Cooper speaking.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's former astronaut Gordon Cooper. Colonel... Colonel, to what do we owe this honor, sir?
I've been watching the TV, and I've seen the New York Times article. And I'd just like to say a few words to Mr. Melman, if I may.
Oh, sure, Larry, he wants to talk to you. It's Colonel Cooper. Okay.
Hello.
Mr. Melman, you shouldn't be discouraged by a few setbacks. Even in the early space program, there were scrub missions and occasional technical failures. But it all led to Project Apollo, and you know how that worked out.
No, I don't. What happened?
We landed on the moon. And you too, Larry Bud, with courage and perseverance, will reach new altitudes in your career. All Americans are proud of the achievements of the space program. They're also proud of your achievements on the Letterman program.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck, Larry Bud. and
Good night, Colonel. Gosh, Dave, maybe I've got the right stuff after all.
You know, Larry, it's good to see you laugh again. And anything else? I think that worked all right, don't you? Yeah, okay. All right, we have a great show for you tonight. Jay Leno will be out here in a few minutes, so come on back, folks. Thanks, Larry. Nice job.
It was on, you know, Tad's?
Yeah. $1.49 steak, yeah.
We're still chewing our meal today. You know, kids, the holidays are upon us, probably the busiest time of the year socially, and you're going to be giving a lot of parties. You may even be attending some. Well, to keep your festivities from looking like Nickel Beer Night at the Coliseum, we've prepared this special holiday entertainment guide. Walk this way, won't you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Paul. That's lovely music. Oh, it's a holiday entertainment guide. Here we are. The little elves are busily lighting the candles, and it's time to go. Here I am, ladies and gentlemen, at the home of a close friend. He's invited me over for a holiday party. And by the way, Larry, thanks very much for having me over.
You're welcome, Dave. Well, thanks for coming over.
Hold it, wait a minute.
Huh?
Wait a minute. All right, go ahead.
Well, thanks for coming over. I'm renting the place from Kenny Rogers. How do you like it? Okay, Letterman, spread them.
Well,
let me see.
Here's rule number one.
Oh, you haven't got it there.
No, I've got it right here.
Well,
get in there and get it.
Oh, okay, he's clean. Come on, everyone.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Rule number one, if you're the host of a party, it's not polite to frisk your guests at the door.
All right, he's clean. Come on, everyone, let's have some holiday punch.
Holiday punch. Rule number two, as a host, it's your duty to provide separate drinking glasses for each guest.
Ah, grain alcohol. That hits the spot.
Make sure I know where that knife is. Okay, this brings us to mistletoe. You know, mistletoe is a fun feature of any holiday gathering, but always use common sense.
Aha! You're under the mistletoe. Say you're a fabulous babe. What do you say we blow over to the airport Marriott for a couple of hours? Bring a drop cloth. You'll need it.
Just relax. Just relax a little bit, you know? Chill out, okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry you all had to see that, but it illustrates our next rule. Don't mistake simple Christmas traditions for genuine human interaction. Okay. Let's move on now to gift giving. Here, Larry, I bought you this lovely gift for the holidays. I certainly hope you enjoy it. There you go. Open it right up.
Oh, a pen and pencil set. Gee, thanks, Dave. But I sure hope you didn't pay more than $10 for this, or you got reamed.
Rule number 4, always try to accept your gifts gracefully.
Okay, Dave, here's your present.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I'm sorry I
Larry.
ran out of wrapping
Well,
paper.
that's certainly quite all right.
So I got a
understand.
chance to use my new deep fryer.
Good Lord, you mean, Larry, this is a batter-dipped gift. What do you suppose this thing is here?
It's a book.
Oh, it is. It's a book. There you go. All right, well, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. This brings up number 5. Always use wrapping paper. All right, what about games and activities? You're saying to yourselves, well, you know, group singing can always be a lot of fun, but here, once again, use caution.
We built this city on rock and roll.
Okay, that's certainly close enough for us. Here's another rule. Avoid songs that might offend or induce psychotic behavior. All right, now.
All that singing has made me hungry.
Well, I bet it has.
Let's carve the turkey.
Oh, it's time to carve the turkey. Is it okay?
Yes.
Larry's going to do us the honor of carving the turkey for us here tonight. Anything I can do to help there, Larry?
No, everything's great.
Okay. I'll just, I guess, stand clear?
Yes,
sure, I'll stand clear. All right, go ahead and carve the turkey. Oh! Well, there you go. Larry? Larry?
Oh, it's all dark meat now, folks. There's plenty on the drapes. Come on, folks. Don't be bashful.
Okay.
Here you are, Dave.
No, thank you very much. That brings us to our last rule. There is no flashy shortcut to carving the turkey or to comedy writing. Well, we have a good show, don't we, Larry?
Yes.
Why don't you tell the folks who's going to be here?
Who's going to be here? Martin Mull.
Yeah.
Carl Burles, Abe Peeler.
Yeah.
Barbara Avarat.
Barbara Avant.
Oh, Avant.
Uh-huh.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. We'll be right back.
I know. You know, more and more Americans these days are finding themselves sweating in front of a judge. No, I'm not talking about contestants on Dance Fever. Oh, golly. No. I'm talking about ordinary citizens in court. Now, to make your visit to court, if not more pleasant, at least more socially correct, we've prepared this piece we call Courtroom Etiquette.
Okay, well, here we are in the courtroom. Now, here's a problem. You're on the witness stand, but you know you're going to have to lie like hell. So, to avoid committing perjury, try this. Here you go. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Of course.
Uh-huh.
All I did was swear on Jackie Collins' Hollywood Wives.
Uh-huh. Okay, thank you very much. You had it there in this phony cover, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's a tip for jurors. Most defendants don't have much money for bribes, so to be certain that you get your fair share, please always make your intentions clear. You know, a relaxed witness is a persuasive witness, so don't be afraid to make yourself at home on the witness stand.
Anyone else want a strawberry daiquiri?
Okay, well, good. Thank you very much. Anybody over there care for a strawberry daiquiri?
Your Honor, I object. The plot of Peggy Sue Got Married is the same as Back to the Future. Only it's with a woman, and it cost me $6.
Uh-huh, that's right. Now, this brings up... This brings up another point. Objections should have something to do with the case. Keep your petty whining to yourself. You know, little things can make a big difference. For example, it's always nice to introduce a surprise witness like it's a real surprise.
Surprise! Everyone, I'm here.
I think we're all surprised you're still alive. Okay, you know, lawyers can sometimes pick up subtle clues about how the trial is going simply by studying the jurors. By the way, are you folks sequestered?
Yeah, we're all staying at the Ramada Inn out by the airport.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when being questioned, a witness should remember this. Only give the information the question requires. What's your name, sir?
Okay, I did it. I shot him twice. Then I buried him behind the high school, next to the drifter and the beautician.
Get a hold of yourself. That's the wrong case. You're suing the county so you can burn trash without a permit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Jeez. I guess I must be a little jumpy.
Dave, are you done with this piece?
Yes, Biff, we're just about finished with this courtroom etiquette piece. How do you think it went, by the way?
Well, I was just wondering if I could take this.
How do you think it went, by the way?
Well,
you enjoyed the piece, didn't you?
It passed. Well,
it passed. Well, we'll see if it sticks to the tape. Go ahead, Biff.
Well, at any rate.
Excuse me 1 minute.
Well, I was just wondering.
Yeah?
If I could take this time, this opportunity, to show some pictures of my family.
Pictures of your family?
Yes.
Well, sure. I'd like to see some pictures of your family, Biff.
This is my daughter, Celeste, who is 13.
Oh, what a lovely young lady.
Thank you. And my son, James.
James?
Who is 9.
Handsome young fellow, James.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yes, and this is our dog, Mimi.
Mimi, sure.
Sure. And here are the two of them together.
That's Celeste and James. How do they get along, Biff?
Well, I don't want to... Sometimes it's...
Trouble at home?
Sometimes trouble.
Yeah.
But they get along fine.
That's good.
They get along fine.
Okay.
And here are all 4 of us together.
Oh, what a lovely photo.
Dave!
What a lovely family. Thank you very much. Yes, what is it, Larry?
Since Biff got to show his pictures, how about letting me sing a song?
No.
After all,
I don't
fair
think so.
is fair.
I don't think so, Larry. Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'll be in the trailer.
Oh, sorry about that.
Don't make me use this, all right?
I'll try not to. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream, till you find your dream. Good night, everybody. I love you for loving me.
Nice job. God bless you. We'll be right back. We have more trouble with this than a darn thrill cam. You know, ladies and gentlemen, to change the subject here for a second, not for a second, for the rest of the show, as a matter of fact, prison is no longer the sole province of low-life thugs. No, nothing could be farther from the truth. In today's modern jail, you're as likely to find celebrated young actors or titans of Wall Street. But as with anything, your stay will be far more pleasant if you bother to learn and use the proper rules of prison etiquette. Walk this way, if you will, please, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if I can walk that way, doesn't need the talcum powder. Here we go. Prison etiquette. Okay, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in prison. Are you a convict or a maintenance man? What is it?
I'm on the maintenance detail.
Maintenance detail, I see. You know, in prison, ladies and gentlemen, first impressions are crucial. And as the new man on the block, it's your responsibility to introduce yourself to your cellmate by name, crime, and sentence. Hi, Dave Letterman, embezzlement, 2 years.
Frank Baker, first-degree murder, 2 consecutive life sentences.
Wow. 2 consecutive life sentences. Well, maybe you'll get lucky and they'll do away with one of those life sentences. This brings us to rule number 2. Always break the ice with a little joke. Remember, they wouldn't be in prison if they didn't enjoy lively hijinks. You know, as with any new arrival, it's appropriate to bring a housewarming gift, and a customized license plate from the prison shop is an ideal way to promote cell block camaraderie. There it is.
Thanks.
There you go, Frank. I hope you enjoy that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice to see you.
Very nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
I killed 8. All right. Everyone knows that you summon the guard by rattling your cup on the prison bars here. Let me just show you how this works. But that horrible noise is liable to annoy some of your homicidal neighbors. So do this instead. Use one of these beautiful tin cup wind chimes. You're sure you're not with Beacons?
Oh, I wish I were.
You know, prisons have a pecking order as regimented as any ant colony, and soon you'll have the pleasure of meeting the cell block boss. Why, here he comes now.
All right, step aside. All right, step aside. So you're the new meat, eh?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's get one thing straight. I run this cell block and the people in it. And Shine needs mud cake shoes. And give me your dessert at chow tonight.
Okay, now here's real trouble, ladies and gentlemen. This guy comes in, obviously been working on the furnace. A powerful and influential convict, and he's trying to bully you. Now, the best course is to ingratiate yourself with lavish flattery. By the way, have you ever had any dance training? You move so beautifully, so poetically.
Do you really think so?
Oh, yeah, I really do.
That's awfully kind of you.
Well, thank you. Now, here's another one of the great things about being in jail. The chance to see and hear famous singers like Johnny Cash absolutely free.
Country music again? I'm sick of it. When are we going to get some fabulous Broadway stars? Like Miss Cheetah Rivera or Mr. Peter Allen?
Oh, God. This is... You heard the United States defeated Aruba again, didn't you?
No, did they?
Oh, yeah.
I'll go with that.
This is a common prison faux pas. Remember, these people are entertainers and are performing without pay for your benefit. Always receive them graciously.
Say, you don't have many disfiguring scars. How'd you like to be my new pretty boy?
You know, I hardly got no sleep last night.
I'm sorry about that.
Here's a sticky social situation. How to turn down a hopeful Romeo without hurting his feelings. Well, you might just try introducing him to someone else. Have you met Frank Baker over here? He's in for multiple murders. Frank Baker right there.
Oh, really? Well, so am I.
It's a small world.
Yes, small world.
It really is.
It really is, yes.
Yeah, isn't that a nice warm feeling?
Dave, is this piece about over?
About 5 minutes ago.
I'd like to promote my upcoming appearances on Hollywood Squares.
Sure, go right ahead, Larry.
Well, I just got back from the coast, where we taped 5 fun-filled episodes. I'll be the puppy guy in the center square. My witty remarks are all off the cuff. Not like some nickel and dime celebrities. Like that bonehead John Davidson.
Okay.
See you there.
Okay, fine. And Jerry, how about you? Do you have anything to plug?
No, I just want to get out of here.
Yeah, I think we all know that feeling. Okay, that's it. Prison Etiquette. We'll be right back, folks. We have a swell show. Don't go. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it happens about once every 4 years. No, I'm not talking about Wendell getting lucky. No, I'm talking about the presidential election. Here now, we've put together for you some Campaign 88 do's and don'ts to help every American come next Tuesday. Walk this way to the polling place, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. Paul, nice to see you. Sid, how are you? Will, Kenny, nice to have you here. Anton, how you doing? Good to see you. Well, here we are, folks, at the polling place. You know, candidates kissing babies is certainly an American tradition, but during the cold and flu season, it can certainly be risky. Who would know that better than I? Now, that's why health-conscious campaigners will be using one of these. It's the sanitary kiss stamp. Here, let me show you how that works. Let's do that. Do you mind if I apply this to your baby's forehead? Okay, there we go. There you go. That's how that works. It's the... Thank you very much. Nice to see you. The sanitary kiss stamp. You know, folks, nothing is more demoralizing to campaign workers than seeing potential voters casually discard campaign literature. That's why Dukakis strategists have come up with these. These are fly paper pamphlets. There you go, son. Take one of those and see if you don't enjoy that. Here, have a couple more of them. What's the matter? Can't seem to...
This pamphlet is stuck to my hand.
So you understand the joke then?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You know, it's the job of Secret Service agents to protect the candidates. Hello, gentlemen. Nice to have you here with us tonight. But to avoid confusion, they should take a lesson from big league outfielders. When diving in front of a bullet, Secret Service men should always call it.
I got it. I got it. Oh, no, I got it.
Paul, I think that was the same guy who was upset about the pamphlets a minute ago.
Easy for you to say.
Thank you very much. Well, here now, ladies and gentlemen, we have for you a little mnemonic device that you can will save you a whole lot of embarrassment when you're not sure what to do with the cork. Here's how it goes. Smelling okay, tasting no way. Just remember that, and you'll always be in good shape when it comes time to decide what to do with the cork when the... Oh, no, wait a minute. I think there's something wrong here. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I think this was supposed to be with champagne do's and don'ts. We're doing campaign 88 do's and don'ts. It's a little mix-up. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, let's play with the dinosaur for 60 minutes. You know, folks, many Americans are unhappy that they're allowed to vote at age 18, but not allowed to drink until they've reached the age of 21. Well, this year, to encourage greater participation by the young, they're allowed to drink as much as they want, as long as they do it right here in the voting booth. Hi, kids. How's it going?
Hey, all right. It's Joe Piscopo.
That's right. That's right. I am Joe Piscopo. Thank you very much. Excuse me. You don't think my neck's getting too big, do you? Okay, good. There you go. You know, ladies and gentlemen, is Costas here? He could go on early. Is Bob in? Because we could just run him in a few minutes early. In a few minutes, you'll have an important choice to make while you're waiting in line. Why not review the crucial issues of the campaign? I'm referring, of course, to which celebrities now are backing the candidates. Let's see. Supporting Michael Dukakis are Richard Gere, Justine Bateman, and Barbara Streisand. For George Bush, we have Charlton Heston, Ginger Rogers, Chuck Norris. Oh, and this is surprising. TV's The Lander Sisters prefer the comic book character Iron Man. I didn't realize that. Didn't realize that. That's odd. Only one of us is dead. You know, the voting booth is equipped with one of these curtains to ensure that each ballot is cast in absolute privacy. Truly, who you vote for is your secret and yours alone.
Which lover do I vote for Bush? I want to vote for Bush. Could somebody show me how to vote for Bush?
This brings me to our next item. Casting your vote is actually quite simple. All you do is you step into the booth, close the curtain, and then you pull the handle with the red lever after you've voted, and then you exit. How did it go, Calvert?
Great, Dave.
Uh-huh. Just get out of here. No, just get out of here completely. Well, maybe you better not, because you're hooked up to something and... Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, we have time for one final bit of advice. For months, you've been pushed and pulled by conflicting political appeals, but when you finally step into that voting booth, it comes down to you and your conscience, and of course, the ghost of Elvis. There he is. It's the ghost of Elvis, Paul.
Dave.
Yes, Elvis?
Why don't you vote for Dukakis?
Uh-huh.
He's experienced.
Right.
He's competent. And best of all, he's promised to make me Secretary of State.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Elvis, for that advice. And by the way, help yourself to that big plate of donuts backstage, all right?
Oh, great. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, well, there you have it. Campaign 88 do's and don'ts. We have to get on with this show here. Dennis Miller is with us tonight, Kenny Loggins, and from the Cincinnati Reds, Chris Sabo. We'll be right back, folks.
Marv, you know we're on the air now.
Dave, I think I may have
Be
left
tough
something.
to prove, but we're doing a show now.
Doing a nice job also.
Thank you very much.
I think I may have left something in the studio.
Oh, you were here last night?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Well, look around.
Well, I think I left my wallet somewhere.
Okay,
Do you
go
mind
ahead.
if I check out
no,
the
please
guest
do.
chairs?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Drag it out, Marv.
Here it is.
There it is. Great.
Wow, what a relief. Dave, thanks very much. Thank you.
Isn't that odd? That's the strangest darn thing. Marv Albert just comes right in here and then finds his wallet and takes his sweet time about it, too. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it happens every 10 years. It's laborious and extensive and requires the assistance of thousands of temporary workers. No, I'm not talking about Bill Wendell getting lucky. No, I'm talking about the United States Census. So, tonight, as a public service, we would like to share with you a few tips on how to fill out the U.S. Census questionnaire. Here we go. Oh, my God. Get ready, boys. Cover me. So now, ladies and gentlemen, here to help us out with our little demonstration is Mr. Average American.
Hey, when's that funniest old video show on?
Okay, our country is in grave danger. So, when your census form arrives in the mail, it's your chance to be a responsible citizen.
I won! I'm a billionaire! I'm filthy, stinky rich!
The census is not a sweepstakes. All you win is the satisfaction of helping your country.
Yeah, well, screw that.
By the way, did Marv get his wallet? Did anybody see? Okay.
How about that? Hey, Dave, get a load of this. Isn't this an amazing illusion?
The census form is to be used to tell the government about yourself, not to be used for cheap magic tricks.
Hey, G-Man, help yourself to the chopped beef.
You know, laws govern the conduct of the census taker. You may offer him a cup of coffee, but please do not offer him any raw meat. Sorry, Larry, rules are rules. Get that stuff out of here. A little snack for the road. Be sure to mark your answers clearly, always using a number 2 pencil. Oh, this'll be good.
These boxes are... Oh, God. These boxes are so damn thin.
Boxes are so damn tiny.
Yeah, damn tiny.
Yeah. I think when your boxes are thin, they're actually narrow.
Yes.
It's the darndest thing about the language. Do not use spray paint. Now, answer only the questions on the form. No need to volunteer additional information.
Well, I sleep in tops only.
Especially that kind of information. Toys you've developed a fondness for don't count. Only real people.
I'm putting you right down, right here, old friend. Right next to the parakeets.
Larry, have you thought about counseling? You know, the number of children in the house should be noted on the form, not on the kids themselves. Oh, hi, kids. You're here on a good night. Did you see Marv Albert? He was here earlier looking for his wallet. He got to go home. God, how I envy him. Oh, man. It's just a hunch here, Larry. These kids are adopted, right? Okay, back to the county home. Thanks for coming in. Good night, kids.
I believe they think it's over.
Yes.
Remember, all information is completely confidential. However, do not use the census as a personal diary.
Dear Census, though the weather is spring-like, the very universe seems to mock my every hope and dream. Where is the love I seek? Will it ever come? I can only pray for that elusive happiness.
If you are the head of the household, make sure to count all boarders.
Are there still 5 in there? Oh, only 4 now.
Well, I hope our little presentation has been very helpful to you folks at home there working on your census forms. Larry, do you have any final thoughts?
I'm not telling the government a damn thing. If they want me, I'll bug you up in the attic with my guns.
All right.
Because that's what freedom is all about.
Larry, it's been a pleasure working with you again. Thank you very much. Look, it's our old friend Larry. Take a bow, Larry. There you go. Larry. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.